Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Morning, guys.
Sharpe? Is he?
I
don't know.
I'm not paying no due.
I don't know.
I'm not paying no due. We were robbed.
Robbed?
Yes.
What are you talking about? I try to save you from yourself. Did I make that bet? Did I offer?
Zion went over the back.
You offered the bet to me, and I said, seriously? You're going to
did
give me
offer
that?
Zion went
You're
over
going
the
to
man's
give me
back.
another case of
It
Diet
should've been a foul.
Mountain Dew,
You
the
know it.
breakfast of champions?
And you know
Nectar of the gods?
And you
Thank
know
you
it.
very much. A foul?
Yeah, it was over the back.
It wasn't over the back.
Yeah, it
He
was.
just plays bully ball.
Yeah, okay.
I can't help you, Shannon. Sorry. That one, all you.
I get it back.
You keep saying that.
He keeps saying
Probably
it.
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah, you know what happened
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Lakers, Bucks.
Oh.
I know you want some of that.
We're still going to talk about
I
that.
know you want some of that.
All right.
You're going to give me the Bucks at home?
Interesting.
Okay, I'll
Interesting.
take that
We have
right
a lot to get to on today's show. Maybe today, a different bet coming your way. Will Baker and Odell get along in Cleveland? We're going to talk about that. And then will anyone be able to stop Zion in the tournament? Because he has been doing so
We
much.
might
But
have
hey,
due on that.
let's start with LeBron. He finished with 33 points at the Garden yesterday, but the ending did not go as planned. Down by 1 in the closing seconds, LeBron had a chance to hit the game winner, but was blocked by Mario Hezonja, and the Knicks went on to win. LeBron was 4 for 15 in the fourth quarter, which is the most missed field goals in a quarter of his career. Let's take a listen to LeBron on the end of the game.
It bothers me in the fact that we didn't close the game out. I mean, being a competitor that I am, and bothers me that I didn't make enough plays down the stretch. It bothers me that didn't even get a shot up at the hoop. But, you know, of course that stuff bothers me. But, I mean, what's the difference between their record and our record? There's 2 teams out of the postseason. So there's no difference. I mean, we have a couple more wins than them, but both teams right now are looking, you know, on the outside, you know, looking in. So it's not much of a difference.
Shannon, did LeBron make the right play at the end of the game?
He made the right play. He made a decision. He was going to try and get to the basket. Now, if you remember 2 plays before that play, Skip, he went to the basket, and DeAndre Jordan came from the weak side, and he blocked the shot. So he understood he was going to try to. So basically, they spread the floor, and they said, LeBron, do what you do. He had his on you, but let's not make it seem like. I mean, they make it seem like this guy's a bum. This guy was the 5th pick in the draft, behind Kristaps Porzingis. So someone thought he had enough talent to be the number 5 overall pick in the draft.
Timeout. Complete bust in Orlando. Such a bust after 3 years, they just let him walk in free agency. The Knicks signed him for 1 year. Go ahead. Just had to correct. I'm just so
You know the NBA,
Okay,
Skip,
I got
NBA is based on talent.
Okay.
They believed that this guy was going to be so talented, they thought enough of him to take him with the 5th overall pick. I'll just say that. Skip, you have to be very, very careful, because when a play doesn't work out, people are quick to say that was the wrong play. But you can't make decisions on whether or not, well, if this don't happen, it's going to be the wrong decision. If it works out, it's the right decision. LeBron made a decision. I'm going to try and get to the basket. But LeBron saw at the last second, he saw DeAndre Jordan start to sneak across. So now I can't get all the way to the rim. He went to his patent move, which is the 1-foot step back. Now, he had success with that shot early in the ball game. Not in the fourth quarter. I mean, I think he hit 1 in the fourth quarter. But the fourth quarter, Skip, wasn't a very good quarter, not only for LeBron, but for the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And so give the guy credit. LeBron tried to drive him. He stayed right there. LeBron went up. He blocked the shot. A heck of a play for a young player. But when I look at it, Skip, LeBron struggled in the fourth quarter. He was 5 of 17 from outside of 10 feet.
not in the fourth quarter, but in the game.
Yeah, in the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But in the fourth quarter, he missed 11 shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
4 of 15. Mm-hmm. That's not LeBron. Because he had it going earlier. Everything, he driving to the basket, getting to the foul line, 11 or 13. That's a good sign. Positive. I can see things like that happen on the horizon. Skip,
66% for the year.
Well,
career worst. Go
but
ahead.
guess what? If we keep shooting 11 or 13, we won't end up at 66%.
You think you're going to get to 80?
No, we can't get to 80, but
No.
we could be above 70.
Okay.
Look, Skip, we can say that the game was lost on the last second shot. The game was lost because the Lakers allowed the Knicks to go on a 13-1 run. You remember 2 weeks ago, Skip, what did they do? They allowed the Milwaukee Bucks to go on a 15-2 run. So it's twofold. We can't make a shot, and we can't prevent them from getting buckets. Well, if you can't make a shot and the other team seemingly can't miss a shot, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. And that's what happened. Moutier, I don't know what happened to him all of a sudden, Skip, in Denver. He couldn't make a shot. Now he gets to New York, he can't miss a shot.
That is true.
I mean, he was pulling up, and this other guy, what's his name?
Dotson?
Dotson.
Dotson, he's pretty
He had it cooking early.
Yep.
Overall, I mean, their starters played unbelievable. I mean, all of them in double figures of 15 points or more. DeAndre Jordan had 15, but he had 17 boards. You know what, Skip? Look, we can make this about, LeBron took the last shot and it didn't go in. He should have went all the way to this and he should have did all the way to that. I don't look at it like that. I look at it as simple as this. I believe he made the right play. He didn't pass the ball. You can tell the way the court was spreaded. Luke Walton says, LeBron, take the ball. They didn't call it. They brought the ball up the court. And LeBron says, hey, got to his side, which is the left side of the basket. He loved that. You remember when he hit that shot on Toronto, Skip. Brought that thing all the way up. It didn't work out. He made the right play. But the guy just made a better play. And so instead of saying what he didn't do, how about let's give the guy, because sometimes I don't think we give guys enough credit when they make plays, even though they make it against a great player.
Okay. You done?
I'm done.
Good. My turn.
Where are you at?
Whew. Here we go. I waited long enough. I got a lot of pent-up energy over here. I'm about to unleash. Just for the record, to remind our younger viewers, I started covering the National Basketball Association in 1977. I started covering the Lakers right here in Los Angeles. Kareem was on that team, no Magic yet, but Kareem's Lakers. So this is, everything I'm about to say is not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of knowledge and experience. Here we go. I'm going to say it for the 10,000th time. LeBron was not born to be a closer. LeBron doesn't have enough clutch gene to be a closer. And we saw it on full display yesterday at the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. I thought LeBron, regular season-wise, hit bottom yesterday. As far as all of his career-long regular season games, this was hitting bottom. And the shock to me, Mr. Sharpe, was that I thought this was LeBron's one opportunity, the guy you called the quote-unquote GOAT, to put a little fresh lipstick on this pig of a season for the Los Angeles Lakers, because I thought he'd go for 50 or 60 and they would have a resounding rout of the pathetic Knicks in the Garden, and that all the celebrities on hand would say, we got it. We got you, Bron. We came for you, and you did it for us in the Garden. Because you know how the Knicks fans are. They just want the visiting star to star for them, because that's all they have. Unless they get Zion, unless they get KD and Kyrie next year. So to me, LeBron had a pretty good day. He had 33 points that could have been, 40 plus if he had heated up in the fourth quarter instead of going completely cold.
He did.
LeBron James missed the most fourth quarter shots of all of his regular season 16 seasons. He's never missed 11 shots in a fourth quarter, and he missed 11 in that fourth quarter. And by the way, he had 2 chances to slam the door, to ice the game. The one you brought up was he drove it on DeAndre, and he just didn't get there quite quick enough. He didn't explode into it, and he thought that it was a goaltend. It was not a goaltend. DeAndre just nicked it before it went up, on the way up.
It was close, but he got it.
It was close, but he got there, and he got it. And then LeBron tried a little fall-away jumper from 22 feet that would have put, the DeAndre shot would have put him up 5. This would have put him up 3, and it barely nicked front iron, so that was not a good shot by LeBron James, which led to the all-time LeBron James dilemma on the final play. I'm talking about being between rock and hard place, as he was guarded full court by Mario Hezonja. And again, Hezonja cut as a bust, or he wasn't cut, he just wasn't re-signed by the Orlando Magic. But Mario took him full court, nose to nose, here we go. And the Lakers are down 1. Remember, they're down 1 at this point. And usually, what does LeBron do in this situation? He usually pulls up. And I have been pounding this desk for years and pounding the old desk on the other network for years. Just drive it and get to the free throw line if you have to. Drive the basketball. And he did not pull up, which shocked me because I thought he'd pull up because I always say, well, if he pulls up and shoots a deep three on Hezonja, if he misses, his apologists can say, well, it was a tough shot that he missed because it was a 32-footer or whatever he might shoot. In this case, LeBron James drove the basketball to his left, which is his strong hand. He's ambidextrous, but he almost seems like he's more left-handed than right-handed to me because he loves his left hand up off the glass. So I'm saying, way to go, LeBron. But then he gets deep in the lane and he remembers, I think, mind flying. This is just me reading into his high IQ, the highest IQ in basketball. Wait a second. And I should also point out, he couldn't pull up this time because he was 0 for 6 from 3. So that's a tougher sell with the media if you're going to shoot the 3. But he gets deep in the lane and he thinks, wait a second, I'm a 66% free throw shooter this year, which is my career worst. What have we seen regularly throughout this basketball season? LeBron James, late game, free throw line, demons. Is that fair? It's just fair. He's just missed so many late game free throws.
But hold on, Skip. You just said you gave him credit for driving 2 plays earlier.
Okay, but time out. But now he gets deep on Hezonja, and you have to finish the play off. You have to attack Hezonja, hell-bent. You got to go up strong because you are going to get that foul call. But you know what's going to happen? All of a sudden, time's going to be out, and you have to go stand there by yourself, and you're going to have to make 1 of 2 just to force overtime, 2 of 2 to win the game. I believe LeBron James wanted no part of that, so he shocked me again by going up timidly, by going up half-heartedly. His body language was almost, please block this shot and get me off the hook here.
Stop.
Okay, wait a second. He didn't just get fingertip blocked on this shot, if we can see it again. This isn't a fingertip block. It's a full hand block. It's this block. It's like big brother blocking baby brother in the driveway when baby brother's like 7 years old. It's a full hand over the basketball by Mario Hezonja. That is the all-time low point embarrassment of LeBron James' career. How can you get blocked with a full hand over the basketball?
He jumped off the right foot, and normally he jumps off his left foot with the step back fadeaway. So if you look at it, he jumps off his wrong foot. That's a right foot. He's a right-handed.
He's LeBron James. You tell me he's the best player in basketball.
It's still physics.
Okay, but it looked like me jumping. It looked like just some guy trying to jump.
Skip.
Mario Hezonja?
Skip. Mario Hezonja. It hasn't panned out well, but he was the 5th pick in the draft. He's 6'8". He's 6'8".
Hey, LeBron's 6'9".
So
6'9".
Okay, let me ask you a question. You know this, you've been covering the game of basketball since 1977. If you play long enough, name the 2 things you know for 1,000% certain that's going to happen. You'll get your shot blocked and you'll get dunked on. Those are facts.
You know what's funny? I got several texts from several NBA guys I've known for a long time who were asking, again, they're Jordan fans, and I did cover Michael Jordan in Chicago at the end of his run there. But they were asking me, did Michael Jordan ever get a go-ahead shot blocked in the final seconds of a game? I don't know that for a fact, and I tried to look it up this morning, and there are no stats available. Right. And then guys are asking me, did Kobe ever get a last-second shot blocked? Did Larry Bird ever get a shot blocked? I'm talking about getting it blocked. And then I'm reading Dave McMenamin's piece on ESPN.com, and he points out that LeBron James has had now 6 shots blocked in the final 5 seconds, when it's a go-ahead shot. 6 shots, and Dave wrote it as he's only had 6 blocked, and I'm like, only? If you'd asked me before yesterday, I might have said he'd had 1 or 2.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. See, you look at it because at the time of when the shot block occurs, okay, it happened at the end of the game. Kareem got the sky hook block, which is the most unstoppable shot in all of basketball. Skip, it happens.
But does it happen on the last second shot where you go up with conviction and supreme confidence? I got this, and you power up and you shoot it like you mean it? No.
Yeah. Well, how about this?
Did MJ ever get one of those blocked?
We don't know. They didn't. Skip, let's be real. You know they only started tracking things of this nature, say in the last decade. This
is a third-level stat.
Right, so it's not like something, because the block shot and assist only became an official stat, say, in the 70s. But that doesn't mean they didn't assist in block shots in the 50s and 60s. But here's my thing. Joe Ingles and Jalen Brunson, they block Kevin Durant. Does Kevin Durant have a shot that seems like it can get blocked to you? No. He's 7 foot tall. He's shooting the ball at about a 10-foot arc. And Joe Ingles and Jalen Brunson has blocked the shot. We got to get stopped. See, we get so caught up in when the block occurred. Okay.
Did they block him from behind when he didn't see it as a blindside back of the ball block?
I just thought LeBron thought that when he drove the ball, Hazonia would step back further. He didn't. He was right there, and when LeBron went up off his wrong foot, which is the right, because normally he steps back, he goes off his left foot, which is his higher foot, which he jumps a little higher. But the guy was right there. I see, you don't want to you want to place all the blame on LeBron, and you're unwilling.
We're just talking about one play, the play to win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're that guy, you just win that game against that team.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that because, Jenny, you remember the Super Bowl was in your hometown. Yeah. And Tom Brady had the ball in his hand. Oh, so and somebody knocked it out of his hand. Mm-hmm. And somebody knocked it out of his hand. Mm-hmm. How would, and in that moment, then, you would think.
Then Tom Brady threw the greatest Hail Mary I have ever seen. And I'm not kidding about that. He hit Gronk right in the hands with the last-second pass. And if Gronk hangs on, we're having a whole different conversation.
What about if Tom Brady hangs on to the ball?
Well, he's trying to make a play because his defense has given up 41 points.
What was the
You're desperate. You're trying to hold on and make a play. You'd already scored 33. What more could you do?
What was LeBron trying to do? Trying to make a play. He had given the defense had given up 41 in the first quarter.
At least Tom Brady was playing against a top 5 defense in the Super Bowl. This was pathetic hitting bottom for LeBron James. Timeout against the NBA's worst team with the worst record and the worst home record. The Knicks 6-26 at home going into yesterday.
Skip, you make it seem
6-26.
You make it seem like they're on pace to break the Warriors record. The Lakers have been terrible this year.
Well, that was LeBron's point. He wanted to dismiss all the potential criticism by saying, "Hey, we're actually the Knicks. Our record isn't that much better than the Knicks." But, really?
No, he was not.
You're LeBron James.
So, in other words,
do the Knicks have LeBron James? No, I don't think so.
Hold on.
Who do they have? Who's the one guy that even is in LeBron's ballpark?
Well,
stratosphere.
There's only a handful of guys in all the NBA that's in the stratosphere.
So one team had LeBron James, and it gave up a 13-1 run to end the game. 13-1.
And 2 weeks ago, what did they do? They gave up a 15-2 run. But here's another thing, Skip, that I think needs to be pointed out. The Lakers only played 6 players in the fourth quarter. LeBron, Caruso, Williams, KCP played all 12 minutes. And I think the thing is with Luke Walton, if there's a very, very fine line, because you and I looking at it, we're like, okay, they're playing so well, you leave them in there, when do you take them out? But that's what a coach's job is. The coach's job is not to wait until they give up the entire lead before you make changes. What's the likelihood that he went into a ball game saying, you know what, in the fourth quarter, this will be my lineup?
Well, he just waits to see who's playing. And Alex Caruso was playing his tail off.
Skip, you can't.
Taking charges.
But I know, but Skip, here's the thing. Sometimes you must be proactive instead of reactive. 12 minutes for Williams. The guy was a G League player. Caruso, KCP.
LeBron James. That's all you need to know. LeBron James was on the floor for the whole fourth quarter and gave up a 13-1 run to finish the game to the New York Knicks.
So he's the only one on the court.
Okay, but Shannon, this is the dregs. This is the bottom feeder. This is the Knicks in the Garden. This is the house that you should own.
But you see what you're doing? You hold LeBron. If LeBron is such a bum, why does everybody hold him to a higher standard than they hold to everybody else in the NBA? Because Kevin Durant's team with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson has lost 5 home games by 20 points or more. Why don't you judge KD? Why don't you judge Steph? Hey, do you remember James Harden? They've blown 24-point leads, 19-point leads, and nobody get the criticism as LeBron. So I'm just trying to figure out.
Who has the best record in the West right now? Golden State still does. Yeah. So what's your point?
My point is that on any given Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday when they play, anything can happen. But they got 3 of the top, say, 12 players or 13 players in the NBA, and they lose 5 games at home by 20. Kevin Durant's on that roster. But you know what? They won the last 2 games without Kevin Durant, the best player in all the NBA, so says Skip Bayless. How are they able to do that?
Well, I told you what happened. I told you last Thursday what they're doing on the road. They're saying, well, if Kevin does have 1 foot out the door, let us show you what we can do without Kevin Durant. So they went to Houston and just took him out. They went to Oklahoma City and just wiped him out.
You shouldn't be able to do that with the best player.
Well, they think he's gone.
It doesn't matter. He's still the best player. You shouldn't be able to win like that without your best player. See, what you always do, Skip Bayless, you'll make concessions for other players that you won't make for LeBron. You say LeBron is the best player. He loses. How could the best player lose? But when other players supposedly are the best players, they make mistakes, turn the ball over, has a shot block. You like, oh, well, it just happened.
Time out.
Who cares?
Do you still think LeBron James is the quote-unquote best player on this planet?
I do.
Okay? Well, if you do, then I'm putting his bar way up here, and I'm going to measure him against the woeful Knicks way up here. And he had the ball in his hands repeatedly down the stretch. He took 15 fourth-quarter shots, and he couldn't close that deal against that team.
So let me ask you,
wow.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. If LeBron James takes that shot and he doesn't get it blocked, but he misses it, what's your conversation today?
I don't know. I'd have to see how he missed it. All I know is what did happen.
Hold on, time out. What do you miss? How did he miss it?
Well, that didn't happen, Shannon. That's like it didn't happen. He got all-time blocked.
Skip.
He got full hand block.
Okay.
How does that happen?
It's
if
a
you're
block.
the best player on the planet.
It's a block.
If you're the GOAT, how can you be the lowercase GOAT of this game, as in the player you should blame because they lost to the Knicks?
The guy made
you
a
realize
play.
that they just got swept by the Knicks? Yeah. It's the only team out of 30 NBA teams the Knicks have swept this year.
Hey.
Are the Lakers? That's hitting bottom.
Skip,
What?
the Lakers been hit bottom. So let me get this.
But I just thought this was LeBron's.
No.
I thought you'd be wearing your GOAT mask today just to open the show. I did. I
against the
swear.
Knicks?
Yes.
No.
Against the Knicks. Well, you've done it in worse situations.
I have not.
Yeah,
I
you
have not. So hold on, Skip. So it took the Lakers being swept by the Knicks yesterday for you to realize the Lakers have hit rock bottom?
No, I just said this was a chance to actually put,
okay.
I call it lipstick on pig. And instead, it was just flat out pig again.
Okay, you could have put lipstick, some MAC lipstick, good old stuff, nice earrings. Maybe you go to Harry Winston's and get a nice pair of earrings, maybe a couple of $1 million, and you put some red bottom shoes on it. But at the end of the day, when you remove all that, what is that? So if the Lakers beat the Knicks on a Sunday in the Mecca, what have they actually done? They still not going to the playoffs. They still a bad team.
If he'd scored 60, everybody'd be saying today, he's
No,
still LeBron.
Not you.
He's
Not
still
you.
LeBron.
No, not you. Because you say, he should have scored 60, Jen. That's the lowly Knicks. They've only won 13 games. You'll never concede to him. You'll never give him the credit.
I call him, like every other show, I call him the best point guard in basketball, the best passer in basketball, the highest IQ in basketball.
Those are auxiliary. There's no. No. It's like if you got a superpower. Well, he got the best. No. Say he's the best superhero. Don't talk about the powers. Oh, Superman got the best vision. Oh, Spider-Man got the best. No. Who's the best superhero? He's the best basketball player. All that other stuff. Oh, he's the best passer. He has the highest IQ. I don't want to hear none of that.
He's mortally flawed. Clutch
So
gene,
with Jordan.
closer
So
gene.
all I know, he got more game winners than Jordan in the playoffs. I don't know. He flawed. He's a very flawed individual.
Yeah.
But he got more game winners than Jordan and Kobe. That's factual. Look that one up.
It feels like the Lakers' bottom just keeps getting lower and lower with these losses. That's the hard part. We are going to critique him at a higher level.
When you're this team, this organization, there is no bottom.
Okay.
It's a bottomless pit.
Yeah, it's just.
But you know better, Skip. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Okay.
I'm ashamed of you.
Next up,
I'm
will
ashamed
we
of
see
LeBron.
a new Odell in Cleveland? We're going to talk about that coming up. No mercy. The Browns made a huge move last week when they traded for Odell Beckham Jr., which gives Baker Mayfield one of the top receivers in football. But Beckham also brings baggage from New York, and he's been called out for his emotional outbursts in games. Baker was asked about that, and he can apparently relate. Take a listen.
You can say the same thing about me. You don't want to tame it. You just let them be themselves and make plays. You know what? that's who they are. When it comes down to it, the guys in that locker room, you're going to love playing with them. And I know from Saquon and Sterling Shepard that I'm very close with, that I know exactly who OBJ is inside the locker room and who he is to his teammates. And that's the most important thing. Is people can have their, attitudes and perspective on it, but he's himself, and he has his teammates back.
Okay, Shannon, will Baker be able to handle Odell better than Eli did?
No.
No.
Eli was a two-time MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Odell Beckham played for Tom Coughlin. In this era, probably the most strict disciplinarian as a head coach in all of football, and they could not control Odell Beckham. Locker room is not the issue. He says he knows Saquon. They came out the same year in the draft. Baker was 1, Saquon was 2. He played with Sterling Shepard. Skip, the locker room was never the issue with OBJ. It's once you get out of the locker room and get on the field, when he's not getting the ball. Therein lies the problem, what he's going to have. For me, Skip, when I look at guys that have had behavioral issues, they don't get the ball when they think they should. They're not getting enough balls to keep them happy. It's really never been the quarterback that kept them in check. It's always been the head coach. If you remember, Skip, T.O. and Donovan was lockstep and barrel. First year, that thing was special. 1,200 yards, 14 TDs. T.O. was first team All-Pro. And then somehow, some way, it soured. T.O. said when he believed that it happened when Donovan in the Giants game. He came back to the hall and said, I was open, and Donovan told him to shut the bleep up. Donovan might have a different side of the equation, but who ultimately resolved this issue, Skip? Andy Reid. And he said, you got to go, bro. Send him home. That was the end of that. Coach Belichick. These guys come in with attitudes, and be it Corey Dillon, Randy Moss, whomever the player may be, Skip. Tom Brady ain't talking to them.
I don't know. He does. He goes out of his way to get to know the 53rd guy on the roster.
Yeah, he goes out of his way, Skip, but that behavior is what it is. If you know it's not going to be tolerated, Coach Belichick ain't going to put you left your ego wherever you came from. You didn't check it at the door. You left it at the locale where you came from. Therein lies the problem. See, when Odell started acting out the way he did, and Coach Coughlin, who had been a disciplinarian up until that point, didn't check him, okay, now what? So now you got Freddie Kitchens, Skip. This is his second year. This is really, he's the first-year head coach.
Yep.
Because Greg Williams was the interim head coach last year. Freddie took over the play calling on the offensive side of football. Now he's over everything. You think Freddie Kitchens is going to command that kind of respect?
I do not. No chance.
At the end of the day, Skip, we can say Baker. And hey, this is on Odell to fix and change his behavior. Because I'm not worried about when things are going really well. What happens when Odell thinks he should have got the ball and he goes somewhere else? What happens when they win the ball game, Skip, and he has 3 catches for 36 yards? What will be the reaction then? Because the locker room, Baker, isn't the issue. It's once you get on the field and he's not getting the opportunities that he believes he deserves. That's when the problem will arise.
You make a lot of good points, but I'm going to disagree with your takeaway on this.
Okay.
I just think Baker Mayfield has a much better chance of getting through to Odell than Eli ever had. I'm not sure Eli ever gets through to anybody because I've never figured what's going on in Eli's head at any given moment. Sometimes I don't even know if he knows where he is on the football field. He's football royalty. He's the youngest, and he grew up with a father and a big brother, actually 2 big brothers who are really good, but one who's all-time great.
Yep.
And he just thinks, I'm a Manning, so I can do this. This is the way it is. I won 2 Super Bowls. Who are you? And he just tunes everything out around him. He's above it all. He's aloof. He's disassociated from everything that's going on in the huddle because he's Eli Manning and you're not. Not that he's a diva, because he doesn't operate like a diva. He's just unattached. There's no connection between Eli and the rest of the football team. Baker Mayfield is the flip side of that. And it was interesting that he starts off saying, you could say the same thing about me, because he's got a lot of Odell or T.O. in him. He's got gangster going on. He's got some diva going on. He's got big swagger. He's got big mouth because he backs it up. But you know how he operates? He operates sometimes almost like he's a wide receiver. To me, that's his body language, and his personality is more like wide receiver.
But what can Baker do that Odell can't? Baker has the ball in his hand.
He can decide.
65 times a game.
Okay, I got you.
And Odell is dependent.
But why did most people have issues and at least red flags about Baker going into the draft? It's because we got to see on video he's running from the cops in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and he's getting thrown up against a wall by one of the cops, right?
Yeah.
And it looked like he could have gotten hurt, man.
He could've.
Okay, so that's going on in this guy. This is the guy who he got crossways with Cliff Kingsbury and just said, okay, heck with you, I'm out. I'm going to Norman, where my father went. I'm just going up there. I'm just going to walk in and say, I'm here.
Right.
Can I try out for your team? That's who this guy is, right?
Yeah.
He goes and lives in the student dorm for a whole year by himself and goes and signs up on the bathroom door for the floor softball team. And they're like, who? Who's this guy? Is this that guy who played at Texas Tech? And he's like Babe Ruth of the OU intramural softball league. Okay? So that's what this guy has operating in him. And Odell and Sterling Shepard, who played with him the first year at Oklahoma, they get this, like they gravitate to him. We're about to talk about Johnny Manziel. He had the same thing going on. He just couldn't back it up because he went completely over the edge.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. Walking into that door, who do you thinks they're a better player, Odell Beckham or Baker Mayfield? Do you think Odell Beckham?
I think it's a tie.
No. Do you think?
I do.
No. Okay, I'm saying. But do you think Odell Beckham thinks Baker Mayfield's a better player than him?
No.
Therein lies your problem.
Okay, do I think Odell is looking forward to playing with Baker? Yes, I do.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
because you and I both believe at this point, Baker Mayfield is a much better quarterback than Eli Manning.
Just much better.
You know,
and he's just much more fun to be around, fun to play with. The energy just goes up, man.
Yes.
You know, Odell is just, Eli's just Eli. He's just like vacant-eyed. It's like he just keeps doing the same thing he did 10 years ago. And you say, are you there, Eli? Like you want to just like slap him and say, are you awake?
But Skip, it's kind of like, and I'm sure, Jenny, people have told you what to expect when you was coming here and you're going to be working with Skip and I. You know,
lot of
Skip is
warnings.
like this and Shannon's like that. But
No, they just said Skip is like this.
Yeah,
Period. Period.
This is it.
Period.
But you had to get here and experience it for
100%.
yourself. Someone tells you, man, I went to this restaurant last night. Man, the ambiance, the food. Ooh, Jenny, you got to try it.
And until you're in it,
but then I go there, I'm like, ambiance? This mess? Baker, someone can explain to you what someone's behavior might be like. But until you get an opportunity to experience for yourself, I've played with guys, Skip, and I had an idea of what they were like because I could see the behavior that they exhibited on the sideline and on the field. But when we got them in the locker room, it was much, much worse.
Okay, I got it.
I'm not saying
but it's going to help Baker a whole lot that he is he's like brother close with Saquon.
Yes.
Brother close.
Yes. But he ain't getting Saquon.
Okay.
He got Odell.
You're right about that. And by the way, Saquon's the flip side as far as he's a model citizen. You know, he's easy to play with.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure Baker knows what's going to happen in the locker room. Maybe not in the huddle.
Right. The locker room, he was.
Because I'm pretty sure Sterling is saying, hey, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's got a good heart.
I believe it.
You know? Okay.
I believe it. He's good because in the locker room they don't throw passes, Jenny. In the locker room you can't catch touchdowns.
Everything works in the locker room.
That's
Okay,
the problem.
I got it. But remember, T.O. Donovan. Let's go back to that one. Donovan, how can I explain Donovan? A little more straight-laced, a little more sort of prone to siding with management, right?
Yes.
A little more conservative, conventional, with the grain instead of against the grain. Baker is completely against the grain. Baker will take on management. Baker had the you-know-whats to do that skit on John Dorsey, making fun of John Dorsey before he'd thrown one NFL pass back in training camp that we saw on Hard Knocks. That's That's you know what?
That is. But most quarterbacks, Skip, especially if they're worth anything, they believe the team is theirs. Mm-hmm. Donovan felt the Eagles had because he had been there the longest.
He had.
That was his team.
Yep.
Although Baker's only been there, this will be his second season. Baker believes that this is his team.
He does.
He does not want someone coming from outside disrupting. So I think the problem's going to come, and like I said, the locker room will be fine, is that what happens when Odell doesn't get the amount of passes, or he doesn't get the touches, or he doesn't get the throws that he thinks he should get? How does Baker handle that? Because like you said Baker won't back down. Well, at some point, Eli was like, okay, I hear you, Odell. Let's try to get you the ball. And he's going to try to force feed him. That's not what Baker's going to do. Baker's going to be like, nah, Jarvis was open. I'm throwing to Jarvis. Or Callaway, or Higgins, or Njoku. So now
a lot of choices.
Yeah, exactly. So now Odell is on swole. Now what are you going to do, Skip? Because here's the thing, Skip. Think about this. You cover the games for 25 years. Name the team that's gotten rid of a receiver with this kind of ability at 25 when they just gave him a contract.
Never happened.
So that's got that.
I don't have a problem. I understand why it happened.
Yes.
Because the Giants finally decided more trouble than worth. That's what they said about T.O. in San Francisco, and I was covering the team. I got it through Terry Donahue, the GM. More trouble than worth.
And Skip, you eating $16 million. I was reading the story. You saw the story. The Giants with all that dead money on their cap. Like almost $70 million bucks of dead money. Skip, look, we done gave you a big bonus. But you got to get up out of here. Okay. We done. We tired, Skip. We can't do it anymore. That doesn't happen. So
I still say if Odell goes off on the field, he goes over the edge the way we saw him do regularly in New York.
Yes.
I think Baker has a better chance to go pull him aside and put both hands on both shoulder pads and say, stay with me. We're going to win this game, and we're all going to be happy and go out after the game. And he'll get through to him quicker or more effectively than Eli ever tried to do.
Yeah.
That's just my gut feeling on Baker.
We're going to win the game. He said, but yeah, I know we're going to win the game, but I want to win it. I want you to throw me the game-winning touchdown.
It helps. They will have had drinks the night before. That's what's going to happen.
You know what?
So at least you got that connection going.
Skip, you know what?
Chemistry's there.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Skip. You wanted to go well so bad, but deep down inside, you know what's going to happen. You know it because you.
It's going to happen. It depends if it gets corrected by this guy. What's he wear? 6? Number 6.
Freddie.
Number 6, break through and say, Odell, just hang with me. We got this. We got this.
You know,
Well,
Baker,
Eli was like, Odell, can
I
you
don't know
hang
if he's
with
been
me?
saying
I don't think he said
in the
anything.
last couple
No.
years. It
No.
feels like a different team.
Yeah.
So Odell and Baker.
And by the way, just to refresh everybody's memory, Jarvis is like brother close with
Right.
Odell, so you got that going for you. And the receiver coach was their receiver coach at LSU.
Right.
And for a year, Odell's in New York. So you got all kinds of new support system that you had none of in New York.
Okay, then what happened when Odell started getting all the ball? What Jarvis going to say?
I think he would be more likely to say, I'm good.
And hopefully their relationship is deeper than that.
Yeah.
That they can play off of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to revisit this probably around week 3, week 4.
You're worried about all the personalities.
No,
I
I'll wait, make sure I'll skip. We're going to revisit this.
No mercy.
Johnny Manziel, he's on to another league. He was signed by the Alliance of American Football and was claimed on waivers by the Memphis Express. Manziel was released earlier this month by the Montreal Alouettes of the CFL and was banned from playing on another team in the league. Johnny hasn't played in the NFL since the 2015 season. So, Shannon, what is your take on this situation?
People can convince themselves of anything. You know what, really? I can convince myself that a lion is a really good pet. I can talk myself long enough to say, you know what?
Well, maybe for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's my thing. You know, I get him if I get him as a cub and I bottle feed him and I nurture him and let him stay in my house and he be around me, he gonna be a good pet.
Yeah.
Realize he gonna get to be 500 pounds.
Well,
and
that's
then
what Siegfried and Roy thought, right?
he did. And they were great. That was a great show too, Skip. Skip. He's gonna get as many opportunities because someone drafted this kid in the first round. And he can play. He just needs to be in the right situation. If we get him in the right situation, we get the right people around him, the right coach, and we nurture him, Skip, he can be really good. But where is the evidence? In 7 CFL starts, 8 games, 5 touchdowns, 7 INTs.
Correct.
In the NFL, 8 starts, 7 TDs, 7 interceptions.
Okay.
How does 12 and 14 signify that a guy can play? I'm missing something. I know Memphis, Skip, they the lowest in attendance. We got to get a name up in here. So maybe he can run around and spin around and do a cartwheel and do a pirouette and backflip and throw a touchdown, and that'll get butts in the seat. Because at the end of the day, Skip, it's entertainment. And our entertainment value isn't where it needs to be because the attendance is not what it needs to be. So Zach Mertenberger was one of the quarterbacks, and Christian Hackenberg. So, it's not like, whew. 5 years ago, Skip, they'd have called me. I could have come in and helped him out maybe a little bit.
Okay.
And then, guess who his coach going to be, Skip?
Singletary.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't win with him. I'd rather play with 10.
Oh, boy.
Skip, this is all a ploy. Johnny Manziel, in his starts in the CFL or his starts in the NFL, has shown you no reason to believe moving forward he's going to be anything other than what he's been up until that point.
Yep.
Someone's going to try and convince themselves here it's going to be different. And in their situation, he'll be different. Johnny Manziel is exactly who we thought Johnny Manziel would be. He would struggle because his inability to, if it's off script, like he needs to be a guy that's like, okay, Johnny, just go play. But that's not how football works. They give you plays, they draw them up, and it says, okay, call the play. And if he has to stay on script, the play that was called, he got no chance. He starts running around and pirouetting and doing all the other stuff. Okay, but that's not sustainable.
So speaking of hitting bottom, I fear that my man Johnny Manziel just hit bottom again football-wise. Not off the field, but football-wise.
Okay.
You know how much I love Johnny coming out of Texas A&M.
Yes.
Loved him going into that draft. But I said, if he has any alcohol issues, I'm out. And he had alcohol and drug issues right away in Cleveland. And he was never himself in Cleveland, and it was an all-time disaster. Then he continued to hit bottom off the field while he was living up here with Josh Gordon, and I think they were in somewhere in North Hollywood or West Hollywood, I think it was.
Hollywood.
In an apartment. And by the way, Johnny and Odell are very close friends, and they used to work out together here in Los Angeles. So he's got a lot of them in him also. He runs with those guys. So I thought, well, maybe Canadian Football League will be a fresh start for Johnny Manziel. And I actually, on August the 3rd, which is Ernestine's birthday, I said, we got to watch a game tonight. We do?
I remember
It's
that.
my birthday. It's my birthday. I said, we got to watch Johnny tonight. And she had just met Johnny when I did the Kevin Hart.
Okay.
You remember the cold as
Cold as
balls?
balls.
Yeah.
Forgive me for saying that, but
Hey.
yeah. Hey,
It's the
you
name of
said
the
it.
show.
You said it.
Yeah, I had to.
Yep. So the point was, we saw Johnny that day. We talked to him for like an hour. He stayed and watched the whole taping of mine, sat with Ernestine. So she kind of got into Johnny, and she said, okay, we'll watch Johnny. And what did he do that night? He throws no touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and he was then with Montreal playing his first team, which was Hamilton, and it was just a wipeout. It was 52-11 or something. It was 50-11 was the score.
So
and
it was the Raiders Tampa in the Super
It was.
Bowl.
It was
The old-
that. And it went from bad to worse in Carolina, in the CFL. And I told you that I believe he had all these conditions where he had to keep taking tests for his lithium that he takes. And I think he just quit taking, he quit showing up for any of his contractual obligations so that he could go to the Alliance, because there was no Alliance. Even when we saw him back at the Kevin Hart taping, there's no such thing as it hadn't come into existence yet.
Correct.
So he wanted to come back to the States and play on his native soil. And what team owned his rights? The San Antonio Commanders owned his rights. Why did they own his rights? Because he's from a suburb of San Antonio, Texas.
Sure.
So where would you think in the Alliance he would be the biggest draw?
Right.
How about San Antonio?
Right. But
Well, unfortunately, San Antonio now has the best record in what's called the Western Conference.
Right.
And Daryl Johnston, who I covered when he was a Cowboy,
Moose.
Big Moose, he's the GM of the San Antonio Commanders.
He said, we good?
And he said, we're good. He said, I'll read his quote. I truly believe that the moves needed to add Johnny to our roster do not make us a better team at this time, because they'd have to make a move to
Bring him
add
in.
him on.
Right.
And so they are quarterbacked by the immortal Logan Woodside, who played at Toledo. He was a seventh-round pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, and they won again yesterday hugely, and so they're off to the races, and that's without Johnny. So he defaults to the Memphis Express, coached by Mike Singletary, who's the absolute flip side of Johnny. Maybe he can talk some sense to him. Maybe he can instill some discipline.
No nonsense.
No. It's the ultimate no. He's fire and brimstone. He's like a Baptist preacher of a football coach, right?
Basically all the time.
Okay, all the time. So will that help Johnny? All I know is if Beale Street could truly talk, it might be able to tell some Johnny stories, right?
But Skip,
pretty soon.
I know you said that, hey, you liked him in college, and you thought he'd be a good quarterback as long as he didn't have certain issues. Skip, it's hard for me to believe that Johnny didn't have these issues in college. It's hard for me to believe that a guy that all of a sudden he comes into some money, and then all of a sudden he starts doing this. He might coming into money.
He was having some alcohol issues. Remember when he showed up at the University of Texas and went to a frat party? And was just trash talking the frat that he didn't belong to. Right. And of course things start, you know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, Skip, when he would make posts on IG, all the posts were in a nightclub. Mm-hmm. Johnny had alcohol. Johnny already looked like he had been bent. So did they not connect the dots? Did they not? Come on. I mean, they say if you're going to take normally, they do everything. They go talk to your third grade teacher and your friends from this place, and they talk to somebody. They don't even know who you are, but you might know Johnny Manziel. Hey, what do you think about Johnny Manziel? It's just hard for me to believe. Now, maybe not to this extent.
Yeah.
But Johnny had issues in college.
He did.
But they overlooked it because he played so well.
Mm-hmm. To your point, he probably had much deeper issues than were known. Some teams might have known it. Maybe the Browns knew it. Maybe the coach and the GM knew it.
Correct.
Because on draft night, Johnny texts Dow Loggins, who's the quarterback coach, who shows the text to the owner, Jimmy Haslam, who says, take him. Because he's falling to whatever number it was. I forget.
He was at, 22 at that time?
Yeah, I believe it was 22.
So
and he fell past Jerry Jones. Most people thought he was going to take it, but Steven said no.
And he wanted, because think about it, Jerry wanted to take him instead of Zach Martin.
That is correct.
And Steven, like Jerry, because you don't call him Dad, he called him Jerry.
He calls him Jerry.
Everybody calls him Jerry. I think his grandkids call him Jerry.
Right. I think
calls
you're
him
right.
Jerry.
Yep.
Best decision the Cowboys could have made.
That was a good one.
And there are a lot of people that thought the Texans should take Johnny Manziel with the first overall.
John Gruden was on our show on the old network just banging that desk.
Yeah.
You got to take Johnny number one.
And they took Jadeveon Clowney. I think they're very pleased with that pick.
He hasn't quite lived up, but he's been pretty good.
Yeah. Especially late.
Yep, he has.
Dodged the injury bug.
Yep.
Skip, I just don't see it. I don't see it working. I think Johnny Manziel is, like I said, he's reached his.
God, it's just sad to me because he was so good. God.
Will
when
you
he
watch
went to Tuscaloosa and beat Nick. Ooh.
But you know what, Skip? And sometimes we get caught up because a guy had such a great storied college career.
Yeah.
But the NFL is littered. Well, not anymore. They're bankers and lawyers, and they sell things, medical equipment, of Heisman Trophy winners.
I know.
Because if my memories, I think Davey O'Brien and Roger Staubach are the only two quarterbacks to win the Heisman and go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So think about all those guys that's won that Heisman Trophy, from the Testaverdes to the Torettas and the Steve Spurrier.
I mean, Davey O'Brien has an award named after him. Yeah.
And
okay. I got it.
And think about how long he won the award in '63. Staubach, but he had to do military service, and I think his first year with the Cowboys, '69. So that might be the Super Bowl, the modern era, because I think they say once the merger happened, they called that Super Bowl. So Terry Bradshaw, I don't know why he's talking about. Roger Staubach is the only quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, in the modern era to win a Heisman and go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Skip, there are a lot of guys, be it a running back winning whatever their award is, or a wide receiver, or D lineman.
I got it. But Baker and Kyler are going to change that.
Yes.
They're going to change that.
Well, they should.
They are Canton bound.
Future is bright
Canton bound.
for those two.
See, there you go. See,
putting
why you
I'm
high
just saying.
why you just
expectations
can't,
on
why you
We're
just
putting
can't
high
be-
But you made a great point, but I said, watch
Why
what's
you-
about to happen.
Why you just, I mean, after 1 year and a guy that's not even played yet, why you do
Canton
that?
bound.
Why you do that?
I'm just,
Okay.
I'm putting myself out
I'm
there.
sure at some point in time the Browns will play in Canton. And I'm sure that Arizona,
Maybe that's-
That's how it'll happen.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Arizona's not going to be playing in Canton.
But are you going to watch Johnny, though, Skip? Will you and Ernestine tune in?
No, Ernestine.
Honestly.
If you let Skip talk you into staying another night to watch Johnny Manziel play,
What do they play on Saturdays? Is it all
It's
Saturdays?
the weekends.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. It's
Boy,
a
that's
safe
a tough
answer.
one.
I figured.
if I'm
I'm going to
Ernestine,
lean no on that.
Okay.
if I'm Ernestine and say, no, I'm going for a walk. I'm
More
going
to
to walk
do?
to Sherman Oaks.
One guy
Sherman Oaks.
we
That'd
could
be a
not
long walk.
get enough of watching. Zion Williamson and Duke, will they cruise to a national championship? We'll discuss all that next.
No mercy.
Well, Duke is the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, and a huge reason is Zion Williamson. He averaged 27 points, 10 rebounds over the last 3 games to lead the Blue Devils to the ACC tournament title. He was also named MVP. Zion and Duke begin their run on Friday night. So, Shannon,
Yes.
what do you expect from Zion in the tournament?
I expect the first few rounds, Skip, because he's going to be playing against far inferior talent. And athletes, I expect them to have a lot of dunks. You probably see big games from Zion, especially in the early rounds.
Okay.
But as we start to progress, the talent level, granted, no team is going to have the talent level that Duke is going to be able to put on the floor. But they will be more than what they'll see in, say, opening round and 32. So Zion shot 77% from the floor in the ACC tournament. He averaged 27 and 10. Those first 2 games that he played, Skip, might be as good as college basketball games if we've seen from any player this year. I mean, he's an absolute monster.
Syracuse, North Carolina.
Syracuse, North Carolina. And the putback that he got to give them the lead, which was ultimate, Skip, he shot the ball, hit the floor, and was back up before the guy that tried to block the shot beginning had even come down. And that's what I'm saying. He's such a quick leaper, is that he can get up, down, and back up again quicker than anybody that I've seen in a very, very long time. But I think the thing is, Skip, what they're going to run into a problem is that Duke is, their 3-point shooting percentage is 340th out of 353 schools that play college basketball. That's not good. Zion doesn't shoot the 3-point ball well. And you know what happens, Skip? You're going to have one of those games where you're not shooting. And if they're not shooting, and teams going to play them zone, they're too talented for you to play them, I'm going to make you shoot the ball over the top of me. They're too talented to try D-up man to man.
Yep.
The problem that you have is that when you play zone, they swing the ball so well, you're out of position, and then they get the rebound. And then Zion gets such good rebounding position on the weak side that the ball comes off, he grabs it, and the next thing you know, he's dunking it home on you.
Yep.
I don't believe they cut down the nets.
You don't?
I do not.
Wow.
I
Is that
do
the
not.
North Carolina and you speaking out?
Part of it.
Part
Yeah,
of it.
I was gonna
A lot
say.
of it.
No, some of it.
Yeah.
But we got some do, though.
We got due on this?
Yeah. Oh, you believe they cut down the net?
Yeah.
If you believe they cut down the
I
net,
do.
we got do.
I absolutely
Oh, well, we got
do.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, we got do.
Well, then it has to be Carolina cutting down the nets.
No.
Oh, you won't do that? Oh, so you don't have any faith in your Tar Heels?
I'm going to do you like you used to do. I'm going to give you Duke. I got the feel. They Tiger Woods. They the Tiger Woods of college basketball. They got the number 1, 2,
work that
3
way?
recruits in all of basketball.
That is gutless on your part.
Ain't
I got to
no
tell
gutless.
you.
I
got
gotta
to
wear
tell
my
you,
do-bag.
You have no conviction
I
about
gotta
your
wear
Tar
my do-
Heels.
You
I got to
do.
wear my do-bag.
Your Tar Heels are a number 1 seed.
We should have
right?
been. We should have been. Had we taken care of business, we should have been the number 1 overall seed.
Okay, so who's going to beat North Carolina in the Midwest? Nobody.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out
Kentucky,
how does
Houston, Kansas?
how
No.
does Kansas get to stay in the Midwest?
I don't
and
know.
you get to they can be playing in Kansas.
Okay, well, whatever. They're not very good, trust me. I've watched them a lot. They're not Kansas.
Well, good.
Okay, they finally got dethroned in the Big 12 for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tar Heel, baby.
Okay, so you're good to go. You're just going to cakewalk to the Final Four.
No, don't do that.
And then you're going to play Virginia from your conference. You got that? You got them?
Man, Virginia slowed the ball down.
Also, you don't have any faith against
not worried?
Carolina against Virginia.
They beat us twice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They did beat you twice. So you think that's where you fall out?
Yeah, the final year
Really?
did not get us.
You're already picking against your Tar
I'm
Heels?
not. I'm saying
God.
we could possibly run into problems there.
Okay.
But I think it should be very smooth sailing up until we get to that point.
I got Duke to win it all for one case of Diet Duke. Thank you very much. And I'll take Duke I'll give you the field. I'm
Okay.
going to give it to you.
Wow.
Okay.
Because you don't have any guts.
I do.
You've been on such a terrible losing streak. I'm going to just
I don't
give
know.
you a case back.
I'm trying to
going to
figure-
push it right here for you, right
I
in the middle
don't
of the
know
table.
how you keep winning these bets. You the lucky. You should have
Lucky?
played a lot. Yeah, you lucky. Cause we had first of all, Skip. We had Duke down by like 4 or 5 points.
You did.
With like 2 minutes to go.
I watched.
So
And I kept thinking, I got Zion. I got
Whatever.
Zion.
You sure it's luck, Shannon? I
Whatever.
Don't
You know
if
what?
It's luck.
Zion is a man among kids. That's how, you know what? He's like a big-hearted bully who doesn't know his own strength.
Yes.
He's not like, he doesn't have bully in him. He can't help himself. He just bullies the whole game
Yeah.
because he's so much better and more explosive than any other kid on the court, right? I told you the other day, he's like a big ball of fiery joy.
Yeah.
He doesn't like spit fire. He just emanates joy. He
does.
plays so hard every possession. He's diving on the floor. He's crashing the boards. He's blocking shots. He is disrupting the other team.
Yeah.
And remember, he has the second best player in college basketball as his sidekick.
Yes.
He's got the best coach in college basketball sitting on his bench, okay? And he's got one of the best, maybe not the best, but one of the best point guards in Trey Jones.
Whether
he
he got
can't shoot. He can't
the
really.
best defensive point guard, Jones is his own ball. And
Okay.
that pass he made the other night, Skip, Zion got the rebound, and then he threw the ball.
I know
yeah.
it was big time.
And then he goes through three. He dribbled the ball. He brought the ball up the court. He gets it. He covers it like he's a running back, comes out and dunks it.
I'm thinking back in my memory of all the NCAAs I used to cover, and I'm going back to who was the guy that was must-see. And it's obviously Zion this year, but like last year, DeAndre Ayton, he was going to be the first pick in the draft.
They
But
got
nobody
blown the
really
doors
cared.
off.
Yeah, I picked him last year to win it all, and they lose to Buffalo in
Yeah.
the first round.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
shot out of the gym by what?
I can't remember, Skip. I can't
Okay.
remember a player. You remember when UNLV, when they had Larry Johnson and Stacey Ogden
Okay.
and Greg Anthony. That was a team, Loyola Marymount, when they had Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball. They were scoring 100
Okay,
unheard
but
of.
you got to go back to Danny Manning.
Yes.
Carmelo was, for me,
Right.
a big guy, even though he wasn't that highly, like it was LeBron's draft.
Okay.
But Carmelo carried Syracuse to that championship.
But
as a
he didn't.
freshman.
But Carmelo was unbelievable. But he didn't get the buzz like this kid.
it
Skip, you got to go back to Magic. You got to go back to Magic and Bird to think about
Maybe.
what a guy.
Because remember, there's Ewing.
Yes.
There was Sampson.
Right.
There was Olajuwon.
Right.
But I'm with you. To get this buzz, you got to go to Magic Bird. And I was there in Salt Lake City in
Yeah.
1979. And that's when the NCAAs got put on the national map by those two.
You will never see. I mean, you'll never see that again. You'll never see Bird and Magic again, Skip.
Yep.
That's a once in a lifetime. And I remember watching that game, Magic and Gregory Kelser. How Larry Bird got that team. That team. I mean, because it was Larry Bird. I can't recall no other player on that roster. It was just Larry.
I just read a story about one of them, and I can't remember his name. But whatever. I know. I got it. It was Larry. And yet, Magic had a little more help because he had a sidekick who was
Gregory
really
Kelser
good.
was jumping out the gym.
Yep. He didn't live up in pro basketball
he
to
didn't.
that,
Right.
but he was still better than anything Larry Bird had.
Exactly.
But still.
But this kid is box office, Skip.
Yep.
Because watching him, and they put up all this stuff on YouTube last year, and all his highlights on Twitter and IG,
Yep.
and he's dunking. But you looking at him, he's dunking on these little kids. Like, come on, man, why are you dunking on
He's
little
still
man?
doing that.
Yeah, but not yet. Now he's dunking on guys that's in college.
Yep.
I like that you describe him with the word joy, because I think it is true. He loves his teammates. He loves to play. He loves his coaches. He's not fazed by the hype and the energy. It just keeps building on it.
No.
So, Shannon, sorry, the Lakers, though, that joy, they seem to be playing kind of without it lately. Did LeBron cost the Lakers a win at the Garden yesterday? We'll discuss that with Chris Broussard.
Jen, I can't with you anymore.
No mercy.
LeBron finished with 33 points at the Garden yesterday, but the ending did not go as planned. Down by 1 in the closing seconds, LeBron had a chance to hit the game winner, but was blocked by Mario Hezonja, and the Knicks went on to win. LeBron was 4 for 15 in the fourth quarter, which is the most missed field goals in a quarter of his career. Let's take a listen to LeBron on the end of the game.
It bothers me in the fact that we didn't close the game out. I mean, being a competitor that I am, and bothers me that I didn't make enough plays down the stretch. It bothers me that didn't even get a shot up at the hoop. But, of course that stuff bothers me. But, I mean, what's the difference between their record and our record? There's 2 teams out of the postseason. So there's no difference. I mean, we have a couple more wins than them, but both teams right now are looking, on the outside, looking in. So it's not much of a difference.
Okay, we're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chris, did LeBron make the right play?
Well, let me start by saying I'm not personally a fan of hero ball.
Right.
I hate it when at the end of the games you just give it to your best player and tell him create something. Go 1-on-4. I don't care if it's LeBron, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, whoever.
Unless it's Michael Jordan. Go ahead.
But even Jordan, if you look at some of his, now the last one against Utah, which is
That
his
was hero
iconic.
ball.
That
Yep.
was the similar situation as LeBron was in yesterday. But the shot against Cleveland, it's more of you go get the ball and you make a quick move. It's not, I'm going to stand here and dribble for 10 seconds. That's rare. I go back to the junior sky hook, of course, Magic Johnson. Magic told me himself he was a third option on that
He was
play.
looking for somebody to pass it.
Right. It was Worthy, Kareem, and then Magic was a third option. I prefer you run a play or put it in your best player's hands and let him make a good play.
The
But run a
best
play with
decision.
options. That's what I prefer. Now, that said, looking at the way it played out yesterday, they spread the floor. The Knicks didn't double. I'm glad LeBron didn't take that 3. Sometimes you see him just take a bad 3 in a situation like that. So
why didn't he? He was 0 for 6.
Well, he was 0 for 2. Right.
That didn't help.
And I liked what he did. He loves going left. You look at a lot of his game winners, they're going left. Even when he passed off the Corver against Draymond, he was going left. Because you look at the middle and you think maybe you go to the middle, but there's more help there. And again, he likes going left. He made it, even when he went left, the Knicks defender didn't come off the 3-point shooter. So it was
Kuzma in the corner.
It was cool. Yeah. So it was a good play. He just didn't get any lift. And Hezonja made a great defensive play. I mean, I have more of a problem with the 25-footer with 1:20 left or the 22-footer with 30 seconds left. But he just didn't make the play, but it wasn't a bad play. It wasn't like you look at it and say, what is he doing? I thought he made a good play, just didn't finish it.
Yeah. Wait, what? Skip, what? Hold on. Didn't you just hear that about 30 minutes ago? I could have sworn. Chris Broussard, you heard me?
I didn't. I don't watch y'all, so I come in unbiased.
Say what?
You didn't think it was a good play?
Is it my turn?
He didn't.
You know what? Go ahead.
Are you letting him go?
Yeah, I'm going to let him go because I know.
Seriously?
I want you to go. I want you to go.
First of all, this was the Mecca. You've been there many times and covered many basketball games there. This is Madison Square Garden. On St. Patrick's Day, I thought LeBron would use this opportunity to, as I told him, put a little lipstick on this pig of a season for the LA Lakers. I thought he would go for 50 or 60, and they would relentlessly rout the hapless New York Knicks at home, where they had going in the worst home record in all of the NBA. And there are points in the game where I thought, okay, here he goes, and he did wind up with 33, but he missed a career worst 11 shots in the fourth quarter. So he did not have it going, which forced him into the classic rock and a hard place situation at the end of the game. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. again, it's his turn, his ball. He's on Mario Hezonja, who, by the way, was a bust in Orlando. He was the fifth pick in the draft, and they just let him walk in free agency because they had enough. And the Knicks signed him just for 1 year this year. And Mario Hezonja got nose-to-nose with LeBron full court. Just as soon as the ball was inbounded, he jumped right in his face and said, "I've got you," all the way home. So usually, to your point, LeBron pulls up and shoots some ridiculous, like 30-foot three-point shot. They're only down one at this point. But because he was 0 for 6, I think he's thinking, because he's got the highest IQ in basketball, I can't pull that off today. I can't sell that.
If they down by 2, he probably take it at 3.
Okay, maybe. I'm with you on that. So he does what I pounded this desk for him to do for years and years. He drives it. But you have to finish your drive on Mario Hezonja, because I promise you, if you take it hard to the rack, if you go up hell-bent, you are going to get the foul call in Madison Square Garden on that day. You're LeBron James. You're going to go to the free throw line, where he is a career-low 66% from the free throw line, and we've seen again and again this year, he has late-game, clutch, free throw line demons. They've haunted him all year long from like the second game. Remember the Rockets game?
Yeah.
It started there, and it just kept on keeping on. And he's got problems in his head, and I'm actually defending him here. So he gets deep in the lane, and he's thinking, do I go up strong and have to go stand there and make one of two just to get us to overtime? Because you know that's shaky for him.
That
is not his forte. I think he's way ahead of this game.
I don't think because remember, obviously, I don't know, a minute earlier.
2 plays earlier.
He had DeAndre Jordan.
That wasn't for the game, and he just shot a kind of a timid layup that got blocked on the way up by DeAndre.
But he didn't know DeAndre was coming.
Yeah, and I don't think he had room to go up, Skip. Like, Hezonja actually, you're right, he's a bust. But he played good defense. LeBron couldn't have got there.
Okay. When LeBron gets deep and he slows up, he doesn't attack him. LeBron's 6'9", what do we think he is? 270 maybe? 265?
265.
You know, Hezonja is 6'8", an inch shorter, and weighs maybe 220. He's just, come on.
He's
LeBron,
sneaky strong.
Okay, yeah, but LeBron can just crash into him, and he's going to the foul line. I promise you.
If you look at that photo, who's behind Hezonja?
Okay, but you can't stop the foul call. The foul call is going to be on Hezonja. It's just going. He's not going to get any respect from the refs at that point. So what does LeBron do? He starts to slow down, and then he goes up timidly. He goes up half-heartedly, and his body language was almost like, oh, go ahead and block this. Don't foul me. Whatever you do, don't foul me. That's how it came across to me. Listen, Chris, he didn't just get fingertip blocked on the shot. He got full hand.
He got no extension.
This is LeBron freaking James, and he gets full hand blocked on the play?
The play before that DeAndre blocked, he didn't get any lift on that either.
Okay, what's going on? Is he really slowing down that much? Is he more ground bound now?
Well,
I see him dunk.
For some reason, you're right. He didn't get, I don't think it was that he was afraid. He just didn't get any lift.
Right. But I think he jumped because he's going to his left, and he jumps off the wrong foot. He jumps off his right. Normally,
it's because he came to a stop.
Right. If you watch him, normally when he goes to that turnaround, he jumps off his left.
Right.
But he jumped off his right foot, so now he can't get the lift that he normally gets. I mean, look at where it is. There's no way he's getting that shot off.
Right.
The guy's already an extension, and LeBron hasn't even let the ball go. So there's no chance he's going to get the ball. That ball is going to get up. But you know what, Skip Bayless? I know you're going to do this. I knew you was going to do this.
I'm not doing it. He did it. I didn't do it.
You see?
Shannon, that's the most embarrassing moment of his regular season career.
Oh, come on.
To get a full hand block by Mario
It's a good
Hezonja?
play. Give Hezonja some credit.
He don't want to do that.
It's a good play.
Are you kidding
honestly.
me? Are you kidding me? You allow a 13-1 run by the New York Knicks to close the game when you're supposed to be a closer? He's not a closer.
Oh, but let me ask you a question.
Not a closer.
Would you consider a Moutier a bust?
Yeah.
He hasn't been this year.
He looked like an all-pro
So what?
Exactly.
Well, you're actually making my point. This is a pathetic Knicks team at home.
My point is that Moutier didn't start his career in New York. He started it in Denver. If you look at the way he played in Denver and you look at the way he's playing now.
So you think Hezonja's going to start making all-star teams for the Knicks?
Moutier is not going to make an all-star
team. Do you?
Do you think Moutier is going to make an all-star team? No, but Skip.
I just don't even care.
But the thing is, sometimes it doesn't work out in one location. you go somewhere else. Every lottery pick, Skip, is not going to turn out to be LeBron James, Kevin Durant, or Russell Westbrook. Why can't you give that guy credit? He made an unbelievable play.
Could he have gotten fouled on that play? If
No.
he drove and went up hard. He couldn't?
Why didn't he get fouled 2 plays before?
Right.
Well, that was DeAndre.
And they could have easily called. It was a tough call. I think they got the right call.
Goaltending.
But he wanted the
arguing
goaltending. I don't think it was, but it was close enough where if they just want to give him a call.
If you look at DeAndre Jordan. He's there.
Yeah, but he's not going to get there. You're going to get fouled by Hezonja.
I think the argument, and LeBron really doesn't have this in his game, but we talked about Jordan against Utah. It was the same exact defense. Like the players spread out. Right. Jordan was at the same part of the court. But what did he do? He went left and then crossed over quickly for a mid-range. That's not really in LeBron's game.
Little push.
Oh, yeah, there's a
little push.
A huge push.
There's a little push.
But that's the argument. Could LeBron have made a better move? Maybe a spin gets in the middle. But once he went left,
he was relegated because he couldn't go anywhere else.
What if you just go up strong? Do you think you're going to get fouled? You think you're going to get fouled? Yes.
Why am I going to foul? Why am I going to foul? He's not. Why am I going to foul him on the jump?
It wasn't going to be a foul.
Why wouldn't you? Not on a jumper, on a drive.
If
what if
you
he just
barrel
attacked?
into somebody, you can have an offensive charge.
I know, but you'd have enough momentum where he's got to run with you, so he's not going to be stationary at the circle.
The dude played it perfect. The dude made a great play.
LeBron played it imperfect. He just stopped. He stopped.
You know what? If he shoots the 3, he's wrong. He pulls up and shoot a 20-footer, he's wrong.
You know what the right play is? Just go hell-bent for the basket. You're going to the free throw line. Do you want to see him at the free throw line? Would you be closing your eyes if he's standing at the free throw line?
You said you would see him at the free throw line. You assuming that they're going to call a foul.
They're going to call a foul? You keep telling me he's the best player on the planet. He's not going to get that
doesn't mean
respect.
he's getting the foul call.
Thank you. And you said it yourself. They do not get. You just said it last week. They do not.
Would James Harden get a foul call?
Oh, James.
Okay.
He's the best player in the league at drawing fouls.
Oh, wait. No, he says
drawing fouls. Not the best player at drawing
fouls.
This
and look,
is LeBron James.
Skip, last 2 minutes of fourth quarter overtime, regular season, postseason career. LeBron, 75% free throw shooter. Kobe, 84%, Michael, 77%.
If you start taking, wait a second, take it down to 5 seconds, and I got a much better stat.
I got another stat then. Last 5 seconds, fourth quarter overtime, postseason, LeBron 6 for 13, 46% field goal. Michael Jordan, 45%.
Okay, the last 5 seconds, LeBron's like 40%
Jordan,
from the free throw line in the regular season.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'll go get it.
We already got it.
No, you don't have it. You're not taking it down. The ones for the game, when you're shooting it for the game, LeBron is pathetic.
On buzzer beaters?
No. Free throws.
But Skip,
I don't have those numbers.
Hold on, Skip. You make it seem like those guys spend the lion's share of their career at the free throw line. We've seen Michael miss free throws that would have won the game. We've seen Kobe miss free throws. So this notion that you're trying to pass off that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant has never, ever missed a free throw, and we just saw Kevin Durant 2 weeks ago missed a free throw that would have what?
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. And you didn't say nothing
about LeBron James.
Oh, so you see what it is.
Hey, wait a second. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you rather have Michael Jordan shooting your last second free throw for your life or LeBron James?
I'd rather have Steph Curry.
And stop it.
I'd rather have Steph Curry.
Option.
I'd rather have Jordan, but that doesn't mean LeBron's up there shivering and shaking.
I think he's shivering and shaking.
I
think he's doing this.
Let's give Hezonja credit. Who was the kid in Washington that scored like 40 on Jordan one night? LeBron Smith. And I mean, it happens. Like, these are all NBA players. They can make plays.
Actually, Skip, my bad. It wasn't 40. He hit him up for 35, and it was a back-to-back, and then Jordan hit him for 35
Jordan
at the
made
half.
up the story that he talked trash to him after the game.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, he made one good play, Hezonja. Yeah, he made a good play.
And that's the one that we all are talking about.
Hezonja blocked Mo Bamba's shot.
Joining us.
Mo Bamba is 7 foot tall with an 8.5-foot wingspan, and Hezonja got it.
If only we had more time for
And
this
he dunked on
discussion.
Giannis. You remember when he dunked on Giannis?
You realize how shameful your arguments are?
Let me ask you a question.
It's just shameful.
Do you remember?
I thought LeBron made a decent play on this.
Decent
clear out.
play?
Yeah, clear out. It was a good run.
You remember he dunked on Giannis, Skip, and then did Iverson and stepped over it?
Oh, I'm breaking this up. We don't have enough time.
You remember it.
Come back to it, Chris. Thanks again. Okay, did Big Ben actually try to hurt his own team? That's where we're going next.
No mercy.
So how about this? Ben Roethlisberger's character was called out by one of his former teammates, running back Josh Harris. Harris claims that during a Week 17 game against the Bengals back in 2014, Todd Haley called a run play late in the fourth quarter, but Big Ben wanted to kneel down instead and allegedly rolled his eyes in the huddle. Then Harris claims Ben purposely fumbled the ball to spite Haley. Harris recovered the ball and the Steelers held on to win. So, Shannon, do you believe Ben would actually do this?
I believe it's more probable than not that he did do it.
Oh, I've heard that somewhere.
Skip Bayless, if you look at that fullback had no anticipation of getting that football.
He did not, I agree.
Absolutely none.
Yep.
And then my thing is, if you want, normally, if
That
you're
was
going to.
the immortal Will Johnson, by the way.
Skip, normally when you fake the fullback, you empty-hand it, and then you hand the ball to the running back. The running and Harris says that's what he thought was going to happen. He was going to get the ball. Now, Ben was upset because they had just turned the ball, Cincinnati just turned the ball over. They're up 10 with 1:09 to go. Cincinnati only has one timeout.
And they're deep in Cincinnati's
territory. And so I'm sure Ben is thinking, why don't we just take a knee? Even if they take the timeout, they have no more, we can just run it. But that wasn't what Todd Haley called. And even normally, you don't have audibles in situations like this, Skip, for that very reason. Now, if it's a regular play, a situation where you're trying to get back, yeah, you might audible it. But you don't have an audible in this situation. Even if this is not true, Skip, and I believe it's more probable that it is, the Steelers got a serious problem on their hands. They need to ask themselves, of all the retired players, why haven't one player come to Ben's defense with this leadership thing? That's the guy that moving forward that you chose to go with. But everybody that's come out has questioned Ben's leadership. The Rooneys, Kevin Colbert, who's the general manager, and Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, you bear a lot of responsibility. You let this thing get out of hand. You let certain players have certain privileges, and they saw it. And so now this is the mess that you've created. I've never seen anything like this, Skip. I've never seen. I don't care how bad a person, even the devil. People are going to say good thing about it. Man, but when it's cold, the devil, he got a nice place you can go visit. Not one former player, Skip, has said anything positive about Ben Roethlisberger's leadership, be it offense or defense. That should be very, very concerning to the Steelers. And you want people to follow him? And people that was in the locker room that was supposedly following him had problem with his leadership.
Okay. So the conclusion is what on your part?
I believe what that gentleman said, that Ben handed that ball off because, Skip, you can't do it. And then watch how he falls. Nobody touched Ben. And Ben fell like he was in a bad Western.
So is your conclusion they should have traded Roethlisberger instead of Antonio?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm trying to say Ben is not without, Skip. Two things can be true here. Ben Roethlisberger can be an all-time worst leader, and Antonio Brown still handled this situation wrong and deserved to be traded. They don't mean they have to coincide. Well, Ben is a terrible leader, so and Antonio Brown is right. No.
So before I answer Jenny's question, I want to point out Josh Harris played all of 3 games that year for the Steelers, and that was it.
So we'll just miss it?
No, I'm just saying, let's keep it in perspective.
Okay.
He carried the ball late in the season 18 times for a grand total of 41 yards.
Okay.
So I don't know how much credibility we should underline his tweet with. Like, does he qualify? Was he there long enough to draw this conclusion? I don't know, because then he didn't even play in the league after that. He played in Canada for a while, and I think he's out of football, but I'm not sure. I think he's just out of football.
So are we going to dismiss Hines Ward, Emmanuel Sanders, James
Don't
Harrison?
dismiss them, for sure.
Because they said the very same thing about Ben.
Okay, so to your point, does Ben have a lot of diva in him? Does he have some bad guy in him? Yes, he does. Do we know for a fact that he nearly killed himself and hurt his football team by riding a motorcycle without a helmet on and went over somebody's hood?
Yes.
Right? We
Yes.
know that. Do we know that he was twice at least accused of sexual assault, right?
Yeah.
He had 2 sexual assault allegations, and in 2010, he was suspended for 4 games.
Correct.
Okay? So we know that for a fact. We also know for a fact last year he was 3rd in the NFL in QBR, which is pretty great. He led the league in passing last year. He has obviously 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 wins, 6 Pro Bowls. And in the playoffs, his 13 all-time wins make him 6th most among quarterbacks, 6th most wins in the playoffs. So that's pretty great. So it boils down to this. When you talk about problem players, is Ben a problem player? You could certainly put him in that category, but would you rather have Ben or AB? I'd take Ben. Ben or Le'Veon? I'd take Ben just because of the position he
Skip,
plays.
that's not the issue.
Okay.
See, 'cause here's the thing, and we need to stop this. It's like the greater the player is, the less like we're willing to believe anything someone says about that player. Ben Roethlisberger said he and Antonio Brown had a great relationship. Is that the truth or was that a lie, Skip? That's a lie.
Well, I don't know enough to know, actually. I don't know. I wasn't there.
AB said he wanted out.
Okay.
Okay, he said he and Todd Haley had a great relationship. Was that the truth or is that a lie? That's a lie because we saw him consistently throw Todd Haley under the bus. You see, what happens is that the greater the player is, the less likely we are to believe anything that's said bad about him. It doesn't matter if it's Tom Brady. It doesn't believe if it's Michael Jordan, if it's Peyton Manning. If you're great, oh, he can't be that. Bull jive.
Okay. Do I think there's a chance that he just vetoed that play in the huddle and went so far as to risk losing the football game? Because I don't know if they score on the next play,
Right.
Cincinnati.
Or they scoop and score.
I don't know.
Back there.
I don't know.
Oh, right.
Right? And the onside kick, I don't know, it's 27-17.
But why would Ben, this fullback, if you look at the fullback, Skip, the fullback, he doesn't even make a pocket to get the ball.
It doesn't look good unless, I'm just being objective here. Is it possible Ben forgot the play or mixed it up where thought he was just going to hand to the fullback? Was that the play that was called?
No.
Okay, well, I don't know.
So now we go as far as.
Is it possible the fullback didn't get the right call? I don't know.
All I know is that the running back was thinking he was going to get the ball because if he didn't, and then Ben stumbled out. I thought Ben was in a bad Western. Judy, you saw how he stumbled. I like, come on, Ben.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Okay.
But Skip, even if it's not true, it's still a bad look because you got another player. Although this gentleman's only there 3 days, how long do you have to be around? 3 games. So that means he was there at least 3 weeks.
Yep.
How long do you have to be around?
He was on the practice squad
Right.
all year, so
Okay.
he would be around.
Right.
Okay.
So how long
Yep.
must I be around someone before I get the vibe? You don't have to be around a person very long before you realize. You see how they interact with other players. You see how they talk to other people. You get a real indication of who and what that person is about. I just want to know why hasn't anyone come to Skip? There have been players that will come, like you said, Tom Brady, off camera, on camera. No one says anything.
They don't.
Peyton Manning, nobody says anything. I just want to know.
Well, I don't know. Peyton Manning had a few things.
Well, he got into it with Jeff Saturday on the sideline.
Yeah.
And he told him to shut the bleep up.
Then Peyton went after his, what was his offensive line?
Well, he went up with an idiot kicker because.
Well, that was a whole nother thing.
But the kicker, the kicker called him out. And he said, I'm over here throwing a touchdown to Jerry Rice, and I got to respond to some idiot
Just
kicker.
for the record, but go ahead.
But let's just remove all that. I just want to know why. Not one player. I'm not talking because, see, Skip, the thing is, a lot of times when you on a team, you have to say all the positive things, especially when you're dealing with that guy. So you got to say all the positive things. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. But these guys, Emmanuel Sanders said it when he first got there and got to Denver.
Yep.
He said Peyton Manning is a much better. Oh, that's just sour apples because they didn't re-sign him. So he's just saying things. But what we're starting to see, same thing they said about Greg Jennings, Skip. Remember when he started saying, well, Aaron is not the best leader? Oh, that's just sour grapes. And now the leadership has been called into question. Ain't nobody issued Greg no apology. Ain't nobody issued Donald Driver no apology when they said what they said. Just like ain't nobody, Ben, he's got 2 Super Bowls. I don't care if he got 10. He's still a terrible leader.
Well, he's done pretty well in Pittsburgh being a bad leader, right?
Yeah, Skip.
Yeah.
Some of the best leaders are terrible people. You know that, I know. Yes.
That's a tricky
It's
one.
weird
Give
to
me
think about.
one.
Yeah, let me think about it too.
Because greatness will allow you to get away and say things that you couldn't. So let me ask you a question. Had he not had those 2 Super Bowls, would Steelers be backing him up like they do? You see, Skip, we got to be very, very careful because a lot of times you get a prominent position or, well, he's a CEO or he's won titles, you overlook the little things. I'm not willing to overlook it because I believe, take all that away. You are who you are.
Okay,
so guess what? He's a jerk
I got
with two
one.
Super Bowls.
I got one, a guy you know very well, Dan Marino. Was he a great leader? I don't think so. Could he be a diva? Was it just his way or no way? Right?
Yes.
Did he want to run the football? He did not. He wanted to throw it every time. And they mostly let him throw it every time.
They did.
And they won what? They won nothing.
Right.
Okay. So
and
does he qualify? But he wasn't a great leader. I'm not saying Dan's a bad guy, but I think he's a hard guy to get along with.
He probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, I met Dan after, I knew that. I played with him, went to a couple of Pro Bowls with him. But, in the Pro Bowl, Skip is a different animal because everybody's going to be nice. Oh, yeah, man, good to see. Great season. Mm-hmm. And so I met him. I really got to know Dan after football. But if he was anything like in football, like he was after football, Skip, you hear this a lot. Oh, that guy give you the shirt off his back. Skip, Dan Marino would literally do that. Okay. Now, I don't know what he was like when he played because, like I said, I wasn't close enough. And I didn't I didn't know a whole lot of guys that really played with Dan, so to get that kind of feedback. But I know a lot of guys that played with him, and I know what they say. I know what they say about him. Some of them have said it publicly.
Well, it takes a lot to say that in public, knowing the reaction you're going to get. And we haven't heard a lot from some of those teammates defending him, and it is a good
You know what?
Shannon.
This is a hot seat year for Ben Roethlisberger.
It is.
This is a sink or swim. This is you're on. Show us.
And that's the thing, Skip. You know how this works.
Yep.
Fans look at it. Okay, you win for me. I don't care. I don't really care what you do. You want to get DUI or you want to drive speed or whatever. As long as it's never anything crazy, Skip. Obviously there are limitations, but fans are they will really overlook bad behavior or leadership or anything that pertains to that. If you win for us, he all that, but he our Super Bowl winning quarterback. It's going to be very interesting to see once Tom retires, see if anybody, because I know what they say publicly. You've been around a lot of them. I know what they say privately.
Still questioning Brady?
No, I'm not questioning him, Skip. I believe that the players that Brady is a great guy in the locker room. Now I don't like some of the stuff that he does. I mean, the yelling and screaming, it gets labeled as passion. When T.O. or some of the other guys do it, there's being divisive or all that other stuff. I get all that, but I don't believe Brady's a bad guy.
And I believe he liked by everyone, like not.
Everybody ain't like O'Shea.
But it's different respect.
Yeah.
Respect, not best friends always, but you respect those
like
guys.
O'Shea?
Everybody ain't like O'Shea.
Everyone?
Yeah, everybody didn't like it. Everybody didn't like it.
I'm sure everyone respects.
But I tell you what, you could, like I said, Skip, come talk to me. And if I ain't like what you had to say, okay, so what? Maybe I slap the taste out your mouth, but we still gonna be teammates.
Yeah, okay.
No, Skip, I was
good.
I was easy. Okay, bro, you got a problem with me? What I need to do?
Okay,
I'll remember that.
We need you to practice more. I ain't gonna be able to do that.
If I have any problems, I'll make
Yeah,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? Jenny, you know your boy.
Okay.
You know Jenny. Skip.
Say what?
Hey, Skip, pick up the phone.
Safe
Skip,
space.
Well, don't call me, because when I call you, you don't answer your phone.
I have no comment on
No, when I call you, you don't answer your phone.
I always answer the phone.
And then Jenny, he'll call me back. Did you call me? You saw my number come up in your phone.
Answer your
All right. So here's the thing. Errol Spence got a big win on Saturday night. Now, will he get a showdown with Manny Pacquiao? We'll discuss.
No mercy.
Errol Spence retained his IBF welterweight championship with a unanimous decision over Mikey Garcia on Saturday night. After the fight, Spence called out Manny Pacquiao, who was conveniently in the building. Let's take a listen.
Tell Manny Pacquiao come back over here. Manny, come on over here, Manny. He been here before. He done broke records here before. He's a legend of the sport, and it'd be my honor to fight him next.
Is that the fight you want next, Manny?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Shannon, would you give Pacquiao a shot to beat Spence?
Yeah, Pacquiao is a big fighter.
Yeah.
He's past his prime, Skip. If you look at the fights, let's just take the last 5 years. He lost to Timothy Bradley.
Yep.
I don't think anybody thought Timothy Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao in that first fight.
That was an absolute all-time robbery.
Even the Horn fight, Skip, it was very, very controversial. Marquez caught him with a punch. Manny was leading on all the scorecards. He walked into a punch. Marquez was on that stuff, but that's neither here nor there. Mayweather, I believe he fought Mayweather 5 years. This fight happened 5 years later than what it should have.
And it was 4 years ago.
Wow.
And so that lets you
Already.
know how long ago this fight should have happened before it actually happened. You know, Skip, I believe Manny Pacquiao has more power than Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes. It looked like he had moved up 2 weight classes. His body looked like he didn't train 1 minute for this fight. And for me, looking at it, Skip, I was surprised that Spence was the bigger fighter, more skilled fighter, more the heavier the punching power of the 2 fighters. And he still couldn't get Garcia up out of there. Now,
Hey, Garcia's got heart. He's got guts, and he's got an iron jaw.
And you know what, Skip? Maybe once after the second, third, fourth round, he realized he wasn't going to win. Now I just need to survive.
He did.
If I can go to distance.
That was a moral victory.
Exactly. I can go to distance.
Yep.
Now, Pacquiao, I believe Pacquiao will be busier than Garcia. I believe Pacquiao possessed more power than Garcia. But here's the thing. This is why Spence, this is where the money is.
You got that right.
This is what this, I mean, there's Terrence Crawford, there's Sean Porter. There are other guys that Spence Jr. can fight. But none of them is going to give him the payday like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is 40, Skip.
Yeah.
But they know if you want the payday, you still got to call out the old legend. Manny Pacquiao put 51,000 people in the seats fighting Josh Clottey. Joshua Clottey, Skip, that's what Pacquiao did.
At Jerry World.
At Jerry World.
Yeah.
Now, Spence just put another 47,000 in there.
He did.
Hey, bring it on back. Hey, I'm sure Jerry would love to have that.
Would he?
Jerry will put it, hey, y'all come on back down here, you know. Hey, I got to pay for this. Hey, Skip, he got that big old yacht, Skip. Somebody got to pay for that thing.
I think he's doing just fine.
No, he got to put gas in it.
Yeah, I got that.
And he got to pay. He got to pay Lawrence Taylor, DeMarcus Lawrence Taylor, Dak, Zeke.
Yeah.
They got to eat.
Salary cap.
Yeah, don't do this, Skip.
Salary
you keep
cap.
on hollering salary cap. Get them people their money. But I would pay. I would pay to see Pacquiao fight Spence.
I would pay for it too, but I would rubberneck it like I would a bad accident.
Really?
You just looking because it's there, huh?
I love Manny Pacquiao. I have a long history of loving Manny Pacquiao up until May 2nd, 2015 in Las Vegas. I was there, and I believed with all my heart and soul Manny Pacquiao would beat your man Floyd Mayweather Jr. I thought he would beat him.
Oh, well, you thought he would beat him then. I was talking about now.
No, now. I mean, no. Then.
Back then.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because I thought he was healthy, and he was not. He tore his rotator cuff while sparring about 3 weeks before that fight. Tried to get an injection, which they didn't put the right paperwork in before the fight that night.
Right.
Las Vegas, or the Nevada Commission said no. So he fought him basically with one hand tied behind his back, and he hung in there. And he lost, but a lot of people, starting with Evander Holyfield, thought he won anyway, just because he was the aggressor the whole fight.
Right.
So the point is, that was the peak. That was the crescendo. That was the last gasp, last chance for both Floyd and Manny to do that.
Right.
Because one was 36, Manny, and one was 38, Floyd. Well, that's the last time it's going to have any credibility.
Right.
Because now it's 40 to 42. It has no credibility.
Right.
Like, stop it.
Right.
Neither does this, because this is the one, you're right, because Errol Spence, as soon as the fight ended, he's like, Manny, get him over here. I need my payday.
Yes.
I need you. You're a legend. And Manny was kind of sheepish about it, like, well, I guess so.
Manny said, I came to watch the fight. I had
I guess so.
I wasn't supposed to be in the ring.
Yeah, maybe.
Jerry loves it.
And then, then Manny just walks away from the interview. He could usually, when Manny wants something, like Manny wants Floyd again right now.
Yeah.
His PR guy sent me a quote over the weekend that he's bashing Floyd again. Who cares? Like, I don't care.
Right.
I care about this because I care about his health and his safety.
Right.
He now has political responsibilities in the Philippines. He's 40 years of age. And again, would he love the money? Does he just, a lot of people think he needs the money because he gives away so much of his money in the Philippines? Yeah, probably so. Is it worth it to risk your health here? Because this is the one where you get hurt.
Right.
Because Errol Spence is long and strong and quick and skilled.
Right.
They're both left-handed, somebody that could counterbalance.
But the thing is, Skip, if you look at it, but Manny Pacquiao has fought at 154. Mikey Garcia was moving up 2 weight classes, from going from 140, bypass 147 and go straight to 154. And here's the thing, he still couldn't even make that.
No.
So that's not him. And then Lennox Lewis was on here telling us that guys normally box 2 weight classes down.
Yep.
So Spence Jr. probably walks around at 175, 180.
He might.
So that's a big man. But Pacquiao has fought at 154. He fights mainly at 147.
He started out way
at 106.
I know. God.
That's how you can get 8 divisions up under your belt.
Errol Spence just turned 29.
Right.
So there's a big age gap there.
Big age gap.
And some reach gap.
There was a big age gap between Conor and Floyd. A big age gap. And tore his tail up. The old man put something on that young man, didn't he?
So Conor McGregor, who's an MMA fighter, said, I will box you. I will box you and I will hang in with you and I will have you in trouble in the 9th round.
You wasn't in no trouble.
Yes.
You wasn't in trouble, Skip.
He was in trouble in the corner.
Skip, you asked for this.
Yep.
Skip, that the man ain't go around. You don't look. If you're a fighter, you don't walk in the streets talking about I'm looking for somebody to fight. But when somebody step to you, you just go ahead and handle it.
Yeah.
I can make 280. That's like somebody coming up off the street talking about I want to challenge you to a bait, and they say I'm gonna put $1 million down. What I'm supposed to do? Even though I do this, no, let's get there. You know what I do.
You get your cut.
I'm taking shebang. I'm taking the whole ball of wax. So Skip Bayless.
All I know is
watch it.
I was there that night in the Bahamas when Muhammad Ali fought Trevor Berbick.
It was
and
sad.
it was the saddest thing I've ever witnessed, that I've ever covered. They had cowbells between the rounds, shaking cowbells. And I'm like, this is Muhammad Ali.
But this is what
what are you doing? And he took another pounding, and you know the rest of that story.
It was it. That was the last time we fought.
Way to go. Well, I don't want to see that with this. I just don't want to see it.
He might get him.
I understand that.
Pacquiao might get him. You want some dew on this one? No.
No. Save it for another one. Okay, why is a basketball Hall of Famer calling out LeBron? We'll discuss with Kenyon Martin.
No mercy.
LeBron and his Lakers lost a tough one to the Knicks at MSG yesterday when LeBron's potential game winner was blocked. And in the first half, he was called out by a Hall of Famer. LeBron was seen sitting away from his teammates on the bench during a timeout, and that didn't sit well with Knicks analyst Walt Frazier. Let's take a listen.
This type of behavior is not. When you're the face of the NBA, I think you should be more a part of your team, folks. No matter what is going on in the public, you got to be a part of the team. Maybe in the locker room you're not, but you have to exude that type of togetherness in public, folks. And right now we see he doesn't really care. So that's why this man is rumored to. This is his last season as the Laker coach.
Okay, FS1 NBA analyst Kenyon Martin is with us now. So, Kenyon, do you agree with those comments from Frazier?
I think he's reaching. You got to look at the whole scenario of the timeout. Did LeBron James just come out of the game? Had he been sitting over there for a while? What the situation was, you don't know. I think he's reaching. Does Andre Ingram not care as well? Does Tyson Chandler not care? Like you just singled out LeBron James in this instance. Because anything LeBron James does at this point is magnified. People nitpick. Can't do anything right. They're losing. It's all his fault. He's going to get the coach fired. I think Clyde is reaching at this point. You don't know the scenario. You don't know, like I said, did he just come out of the game? Is that his scheduled rest? Had he been sitting over there for minutes? You got to look at the whole concept, the whole picture. You just can't. Single guy said he doesn't care. He's been the ultimate team guy every spot he's been in. Just came one situation, one time out. The whole thing Rondo went through a couple weeks ago, you putting that into the situation that he didn't. So I think he's reaching. I honestly think he's reaching.
In your NBA career, was there ever a night when you started the game, you're in the starting lineup, that you did that? During a timeout, you just sat?
Yeah, that was my seat.
Okay.
That last seat on the bench from my 15-year career, no matter what team I was on, that last seat was my seat.
Okay.
So when I come out of the game, whoever was sitting at the situation, I look, or somebody let you know this, hey, Kenyon coming. That's my seat.
Okay. And I'll bet they moved.
No matter the situation, no matter
Okay,
the time,
but
that's
when
my seat.
time was called and the team huddled around the coach, would you stay in your seat?
It depends on if I had just came out of the game or not.
Okay.
If I had just come out of the game, I know I'm not going back in the game, so whatever is said in that timeout
not gonna matter.
doesn't pertain to me.
There you go. That's all I needed.
It doesn't pertain
That's
to me.
all I needed. I've been trying to tell you, Skip Bayless.
So if I'm been sitting over there and there's a timeout, I get up, I'm within earshot. If it doesn't pertain to me, then I go sit back down, maybe. Or if I go talk to one of the assistant coaches, go talk to some of the analysts at the game, I might go grab a piece of gum off the table. I might go blow my nose. I might go get some water.
Would indicate you're still engaged in the game, right?
He was talking to Tyson. He got something from one of the trainers behind the bench or whatever he did. He was engaged. He just, whatever was said at that particular time, it didn't pertain to LeBron James. So like I said, if social media and cameras and all that was around when Clyde was playing, I'm pretty sure there was a timeout throughout his career that he wasn't in the huddle. So I just think he's reaching, man. I just think everything that LeBron does at this point.
Are you going to make it, Shannon?
Oh, Skip Bayless. I don't agree. I wholeheartedly agree with Kenyon Martin. And I was so glad. I'm so glad we got a former NBA player because that's my argument. Had LeBron James, he had been sitting there. He wasn't going back in the ball game because we know now LeBron is on a minutes restriction. When he comes out of the ball game in the first quarter, he's not going back in to the start of the second. We know that now. So now because LeBron low-hanging fruit. For the first time in 8 years, he's not going to be in the NBA Finals. For the first time in 14 years, he's not going to make the playoffs. So everything that's going wrong with the Lakers is LeBron's fault. This is a totally, like you said, Kenyon, the difference is between what Rajon Rondo did and LeBron. Somebody paid $5,000 a seat to sit in that seat that Rajon Rondo was sitting in. That seat that LeBron was sitting in, they sit it there especially for him. So we know that. It's easy. Oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Really? So now all of a sudden they're losing. He doesn't care when he's just been doing it his whole career. But I guess he cared a little more when they winning. But now when you losing, he cares very little. LeBron low-hanging fruit. Now they critique everything. But by the way, Skip Bayless, just because no one knew, LeBron had 4 strips of bacon, toast, and some egg whites yesterday for breakfast. Since y'all want to know everything about what he's doing.
How do you know that?
How do you know, yeah?
He eats bacon? He doesn't eat bacon.
Yeah, he eat bacon.
He does not eat bacon.
He eat bacon, sausage too.
Bacon's just pure fat.
I
He
don't
doesn't eat that.
good. That's good healthy fat.
He needs it. He's running it off.
Yeah, that keto.
He averaged 38 minutes a game. He needed.
Yeah. Now, Skip Bayless, now you heard an NBA player tell you how you feel about that now, Skip.
Okay, Walt Frazier used to be an NBA player, and he won not one but 2 championships with the New York Knicks and was probably the best player on both of those teams. You could argue that.
Yeah.
But I'll say he was. But was he the face of the franchise or face of the league? Nope, he wasn't that. LeBron James is the face of the league. No matter what's happened this year, he is it. He's still on the poster for this league. He's the guy, right?
Yeah.
You say he's the best player on the planet. I beg to differ, but most people believe he's still the best player on the planet. So there is some more obligation on his part to look like he's invested, to look like he dares to even stoop to associate with his basketball team, because there have been numerous times this year when it looked like he was disassociating from the team. He sat before several seats away when he gets taken out of the game. He'll sit in the end seat when there are 3 seats in between him and the next player. It's optics. It is social media optics, but it's a bad look not only for the NBA but for the Los Angeles Lakers, who are paying him
Don't worry about it.
$35 million.
So if he's in the timeout, right?
Yeah.
And engaged, he won't let Luke talk, then what?
Well,
he's coaching the team now.
You would like to see
now.
it.
LeBron James trying to coach the team now.
Well, obviously, he's going to play the most minutes, right? Did he play the most minutes yesterday? He played the most minutes. So you would think during each timeout, it's just incumbent upon him. It's a responsibility he carries at $35 million. Did you ever make $35 million? You did not.
But here's the thing, though, Skip.
But
you make it seem like so moving forward, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch with KD. I'm going to watch with Harden and Steph and all these great players.
But they're not LeBron.
But yes, they are. Yes, they are. For their team, they are. For their team, they are LeBron James. For their team, they are LeBron James.
LeBron James is.
For the Houston Rockets, Chris Paul and James Harden is LeBron James.
Okay.
And I saw James Harden last night.
For the Golden State Warriors, KD and Steph is LeBron James.
And I saw last night James Harden had that heat pack on his neck, and when they was in the timeout, he was still sitting on the bench.
And ain't nobody saying nothing. Because guess what?
They're not LeBron.
They're in third place.
Skip.
Who's more popular, LeBron James or
That's
James
not about
Harden? Help me
popularity.
out.
But no, that's not what he said. He said that it showed that he didn't care.
That he didn't
so
care.
James Harden doesn't care.
Walt Frazier said when you are the face of the NBA.
Doesn't matter at that particular point.
Right?
No.
Face of the NBA.
But Skip, he's making it seem like what LeBron doing is
It's
not
detrimental
normal
to his team.
That's normal. Kenyon just said that's normal what players would do. If they're not going back into the game, what he's saying is not going to affect them.
Talking out of both sides of mouth.
How?
1 minute,
How?
you want him to be the best player on the
He
planet.
is.
In the next minute, you want to say, well, he can do whatever he wants
No,
to do,
that's
like
not what-
everybody
no,
does.
no,
that.
he's doing what every other
not
player
everybody.
does.
He's not everybody.
He's
LeBron
is he
James.
Part of
Is
that
it a
15?
bad look?
Is
Yes.
he a part of that 15-man roster?
Yep. So you just
He's part of a
said
team.
Ben Roethlisberger,
He's part of a team.
ex-players. So here's an ex-player.
He's part of a team.
That's taking a big shot.
But he's low-hanging
Okay.
fruit.
All ex-players take
He's
shots
not
at these
LeBron.
guys.
LeBron James is the highest hanging fruit.
He can't do anything
highest
wrong.
hanging.
He can't do anything
Okay.
wrong.
You know
He's
what?
human. Is he human?
LeBron
Is
James
he
had
human?
an opportunity
Is he
this
human?
year.
Is he human?
Unfortunately, he is.
So therefore,
He actually
humans are.
He pulled a muscle this
Hey,
year.
yeah, so he's human.
You believe in that? I thought he was Iron Man.
Hey, he's human.
LeBron James had an opportunity this year to do the greatest thing he's ever done. That's to take this Laker team without a bona fide second star to him into the playoffs. If he'd made the 8th seed, I would have said, wow, that's really good.
No, you wouldn't.
You thought he'd been the 4th
No, you
seed.
wouldn't.
For a while, it looked like he would be
You'd
the
have said
4th
if
seed.
LeBron James is the greatest player in the NBA, Michael Jordan would have had him at least to the second seed.
Take them to the conference finals. You get that team to the conference finals, I'd be saying, wow.
Really, Skip?
Yeah, but to do it, you're going to have to lead those kids. You can't send the message constantly, I don't want to associate with those guys because that's a mess over there. Don't include me with them.
So that's what they told you?
That's what he's done it all year.
Is that what they told you?
He's done it all year.
We ain't talking about all year. We're talking about this specific situation that Clyde Frazier criticized this man about.
This is not unusual. He's been doing this
We're
consistently
talking about this
the whole year.
situation.
But he did it in Cleveland.
And they went to 8 straight finals.
Well, he did it in Cleveland at the very worst time at the end of regulation of Game 1 when they had him. Had him on the ropes.
But if he did it
and what did he do then? He pouted.
If
That
he
was
did it
just
in Cleveland,
a straight pout.
He did it in Miami.
You know?
So did he not care? So
did he not care then?
Did he not care in Cleveland?
In Cleveland,
Okay,
Miami.
which situation are we talking about?
Same when he sit on the end of the bench.
Game 1.
When he sit on the end of the
No,
bench.
Game 1. Don't associate me with those guys.
Stop it,
I don't
Skip.
do that.
Stop it. Stop it. No, we're not talking about no Game 1.
Okay.
We're talking about a behavior that the man has exhibited throughout his 16-year career when he's not about to be involved in the game. So he sits over there. So what, did he not care then or did he just not care now?
I just got to tell you, I respect the heck out of Walt Frazier.
Of course, because he criticized
He's a big guy.
LeBron.
He's a big guy. Nope, he's not the first.
So he's not allowed to be wrong?
Well, you
Just because you respect, he's not allowed to be
Walt
wrong.
Frazier wrong.
Yeah, I'm calling him wrong. Yes,
Okay,
Kenyon Martin said calling him wrong.
I'm calling him Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's a Hall of Fame. Yes, that
Hall
doesn't
of
mean
Famers
he
could
right.
be wrong, Skip.
That don't
I'm
mean he
calling him
right.
a 2-ring Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's still wrong.
That don't
How
mean
many
he always
basketball
right.
rings do we have at this table right
It doesn't
now?
mean he's
It
right.
doesn't mean
How many do we have?
It doesn't matter.
Skip.
We have none.
I'm not
Skip.
always right.
Skip.
You're not always right.
Skip, here's the thing, though, Skip.
Mostly.
Clyde's not always right.
But see, that's the biggest misconception. People think right has to do with equations. Whether you want a Pulitzer Prize or a Nobel Prize, you can be wrong.
Yes.
I got 3 rings. I can be wrong.
Is that a bad look for LeBron James?
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Is it a bad look for the league? Yes.
No, it's not.
It just is. If
it's not.
Clyde Frazier says that's a bad
No,
look,
it's-
I'm going to take that to my bank.
Why? Why is Clyde Frazier?
And that's going to be counterfeit.
He
They're going
is
to turn you
the
around.
host of New York
No,
basketball,
no,
unfortunately.
Yeah, he's
He's
the-
still
in the
all
70s,
they got.
yeah, in the 70s, yeah, I
all
get
they
it.
got.
But he's the same guy that says KD is not worthy because he went and joined Golden State. Is he right?
Well, a lot of people believe that.
I don't know what a lot of people
You
talking
think
about
that?
Clyde.
Unfortunately,
Wait
I don't
a
think we're
minute.
gonna have
You
enough
think
time
that?
We're talking
to
about
come to a
Clyde.
Wait a minute.
conclusion
You
about this
think
one.
that?
We're talking about
what?
Clyde here.
Okay, he changed the subject. I didn't
We talking
change
about
it.
Clyde.
You brought up
Either way,
KD.
we are. We're talking about
I'm talking
that
about
What
Clyde
Clyde
specific
said about Clyde.
situation.
Right.
What Clyde said about KD.
All right, it's good to get your take.
Thank you,
Kenyon.
ma'am.
Wish we had more time. Why, oh why, is Jerry Jones now a fan of the Browns?
Yeah,
what
that's
will
a good
Skip
question.
say about this?
That's a good question.
No mercy.
Odell Beckham's trade to the Browns didn't only change the Giants, but it also had a domino effect on the NFC East. Jerry Jones was asked over the weekend about the trade and said, quote, thank you. I'm so behind the Haslams and what they are doing there in Cleveland. So, Skip.
What?
I gotta know.
What?
Do you like Jerry saying this?
I despised it.
Whoa!
I thought, what? It came across as uninformed and weak and in the end just silly because, wait a second, Jerry, in 3 of Odell's 5 seasons in New York, Dallas won the NFC East, 3 out of 5.
Okay.
That's pretty great, right? Do you realize that Odell never really hurt Dallas? He was 3-4 against the Dallas Cowboys. He had only one 100-plus yard game, and guess what that was? That was in 2014 on Monday Night Football when he made the catch heard round the world that put him on the map, and unfortunately New York on the wrong
Monday
map.
night or Sunday night?
Sunday, I can't
I
remember.
think it was Sunday night.
night,
Yeah.
but it was a night game.
Yes.
It was was Sunday night, I think it was. But the point was he had 100-plus yards in that game, and that was the last time he had 100-plus yards against Dallas. So why did I fear Odell when he was in New York? I did not fear him. If you wanted to say that about Jerry Rice when he was a 49er, and if he had gotten traded away, and you'd say, thank you, fine. But Odell never Jerry Rice the Dallas Cowboys.
But you remember that one he called on that rainy Sunday night.
All right, but it was
he called that one.
It was just a muck game. It was remember it snowed all day and it
I don't
turned
know.
to mush.
I'm not a meteorologist,
Okay. All right,
so
that's
I don't
what
really
happened.
know. I don't really know what the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Okay, so he
condition
caught
was.
one ball and broke free because my safety slipped down. Okay, fine. Is that,
Yeah,
is
first
that
of all,
like
all
Jerry
Jer-
Rice all
what-
over again? I don't think so.
He also said, "Thank you, Giants, for keeping Eli." That greatly increased.
Okay, if
my
he'd
chance.
said that, I'd be good with it.
But Skip, you look. The more players you get, the more good players you get out of your division, the better your chances are of winning. But he also said that, Jenny, because here's the underlining thing. Now we talking about what he said about the Giants getting rid of Odell. We didn't mention that he didn't sign Earl Thomas. That's what he tried to do. Jerry Jones tried to do the shell game.
Kinda like
Odell.
you do with
Odell.
Kevin
Eli.
Durant.
Yeah, right here. But what about, where's Earl? Earl's not in Dallas.
Okay.
You have got no better.
The question was about Odell. It was before the fight the other night at Jerry World.
and I'm-
It was about Odell, and he said, thank you. Thank you for what?
I'm telling you.
I'm going to kind of miss him because we beat him
Whatever.
regularly. Come
Yeah,
on.
you beat him because you had Eli.
Okay, well,
why you
that's
beat him.
fine.
Because, like you said, Eli played terrible. He just got one lucky throw,
Well,
and
it was.
Odell went to the house.
And Dak couldn't throw a wet football.
Well, why couldn't he do that? That's
I
a
don't
quarterback.
know. I don't know.
Oh, so
Some
you
guys
want-
can't.
Yeah, hold on.
Troy Aikman couldn't throw a
I
wet
don't know
ball.
about
Dak Prescott can't throw a wet ball.
Why are you bringing up Troy Aikman? Troy Aikman
Because-
got 3 Super Bowls.
Okay, well, that's what I
At
just
this
said.
juncture-
He couldn't throw a wet ball.
Hold on.
That was his.
At this juncture, Troy Aikman was a Super Bowl winning QB
Okay.
with an MVP.
Well,
so don't
Dak
you dare
will
mention-
be. Dak
don't
will
you
be.
dare mention
He's
Dak
on that
Prescott
path.
with one of my
Yeah.
teammates.
He's won the division 2 out of the
He
first
one of
3
my
years.
teammates, and I refuse to let you put Dak Prescott in his name in the
Okay.
same combo.
All right. Well-
But anyway, as I was saying, Jerry realizes the better the players are that's out of that division, the greater my chances of winning that division. And plus, I ain't signed Earl Thomas, and I still got to sign DeMarcus Lawrence. Zach,
will.
Deke,
Got it.
Zeke,
Got
want
it.
that money.
Got it.
Amari Cooper.
Got it.
Jalen
Done,
Smith.
done,
and Byron
done.
Jones.
By the way, Randall Cobb is visiting Dallas today. Who knows? I don't know.
And we ain't even talking about no
You
Randall
know.
Cobb.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, come on. So if Green Bay loaded with talent, they can just let great players go?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't?
Hadn't been healthy for a while. And speaking of not healthy, do you realize that Odell played only 1 of the last 4 games against Dallas? How'd that happen? You
I
sure
agree.
about him?
I'm just saying I know what Jerry was doing. Like you told me, Jerry's shrewd like a fox.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
I don't think I said
Yeah,
like
you
a
said, oh,
fox.
Jerry.
I never
Oh,
compared Jerry to a fox.
Yeah, you said, oh, Jerry.
That's
shrewd.
sly like a fox.
Yeah, with slide,
Slide.
shrewd, all that.
Yeah.
But guess what? He still ain't get Earl. Y'all still have no playmakers on that side of the ball, Skip. Talk about that. In the last
All I know is he was just talking about Odell, and I'm going to miss him in New York. That's just me.
Yeah.
There
I'm
you
going
go.
to miss him too, but y'all not winning the division whether he's there or not.
We got to stop so
so
we have
much
time
trouble.
for this next one because corny Tom Brady was
At
at
it
it
again.
again this
At it
weekend.
again.
And
Here
we
we
have
go.
video for Shannon. He's going to love it. Next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Tom Brady is the GOAT in football, and maybe soon he will be in skiing too. This weekend, he made an interesting comparison to an all-time great, Lindsey Vonn, on Instagram, but you gotta hear it yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm just going out to Montana, getting ready for our family ski trip, and I was watching some old film. This was from 2 years ago. This was me. I was taking way too much time getting into this jump, and I pushed off. I was way ahead of my skis, and then full left shoulder. That was a lot of pain. And I actually been studying Lindsay, and she's just got a way bigger hill, way more speed, and she's perfectly balanced. So way bigger hill, way more speed. That's what it's got to be. Let's go.
That's
Let's
simple.
go.
Shannon.
Let's go, Shannon. Come on.
Was this cool
Hit
or
the
not
slopes.
cool by Brady?
I got a C word for you, corny. He's the biggest cornball in the history of pro sports.
Good. Love
and
it.
You know
Love
it.
it.
Love
First
it.
of all, the other one
Love
was not
it.
him. He did not hit that jump and get in front of his skis, and he's not going to be Lindsey Vonn to pick up that kind of speed. Because I don't know if he noticed, Lindsey Vonn retired. And there's a reason why she retired early, Skip Bayless, because she was picking up too much speed and she was falling far too often. Stop, Skip. Why does Tom Brady, a guy that's won 6 Super Bowls, he's an MVP, and he wants this kind of attention? This should be beneath him.
He's messing with you. He's teasing. He's kidding. He's just being playful Tom, mischievous Tom. He does this every year before vacation. He posts some picture of a cliff, and I'm going to jump off this cliff to the ocean 1 mile below at age 41. I'm going to risk.
All I know
Yeah,
is this is
it's
cream
funny.
corn on the cob, popcorn, any other kind of corn you could come up with.
You
This
just
is utterly
can't stand
ridiculous.
it. It's funny.
It ain't funny.
He got you again.
He's got jokes.
He ain't got no.
Shannon.
Oh,
got
he-
jokes.
Are we the audience that
I'm
Tom
going
is
on a family
going
ski
to?
trip, guys.
Yeah.
And when I was looking here, I see Lindsay. She's a lot more balance and
Yep.
a lot more speed.
Oh, no,
Big
Tom's
hit.
What?
going to go
Gotta
Lindsey
study.
Vonn.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.